Well, you started with nothing, didn't you? Be honest.
Yeah, no, I had absolutely nothing. Yeah,
That's a lie, though. You didn't start with nothing.
No, you're right. You're right.
Can you put a price on life?
Yeah, that's true.
Can you put a price on life? You can't put a price on your life.
No.
That's the thing. So when people, I don't fall for that trap.
Yeah.
This is the trick. We have started rich.
You're right.
Right?
We need to change that from now. You're right. We haven't started from nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't start. We started from nothing.
Yeah.
We started from nothing. We started from nothing. That's bullshit.
100%. You've just changed synaptic pathways in my neurons.
Right. I'm just keeping it 100.
So today, welcome to the Boardman podcast. We have Spencer Fearon. Welcome.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
No?
Right, Spence, you
You want to cut that straight.
How do you want to be
Always introduce of the knowledge. Always.
I was gonna say, AKA the knowledge.
But you didn't know, Jay.
No,
come on, Jay. Come on.
Okay, I'll give it another go.
No, carry on. Keep on filming. Just like this. I just want people to know.
Okay.
The disrespect, you know. And you're in South London, bro. You might not come out of it, you know. One phone call, you're finished.
Start with a slap straight to Jay.
Mate,
we've got a legend on. We've got a legend on.
Oh, good. No, I know. We do have a legend on right now. So, I'll start again. Welcome to the Boardman podcast. We are with the legendary Spencer Fearon, a.k.a. The Knowledge. Welcome.
Very good. Well done. How you doing, gentlemen? How's everything going on? I'm a bit in awe. You know what I mean? We've got a movie star over here. You know what I mean? We got this entrepreneur, mad business guy who gets all around the world. And I've got Jay. No, I'm joking.
You got it.
That's how we introduce Jay. Just a normal guy, normal, likable guy. We got this much bio for me and James. And then Jay is just normal, likable guy. It works perfect, right?
I'm telling you.
Playing the diversity card.
Is it? No, not really, because you just look like a guy who's just got a good suntan. That's all. You know, like I would not believe, like you're Asian descent, right? Asian.
Yeah,
descent.
I'm Asian. Yeah.
Well, both parents.
I'm Indian. Yeah,
Both parents.
My mum was born in Tanzania, actually.
For real?
And my father was born in England, but they're of Indian
Right,
origin.
but I know for a fact that people think you look Hispanic. You get that a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
because of the. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. You could be Robert Garcia's love child.
I've been to Miami and
Please, I dare you now. Go put up a picture of Robert Garcia right now and put a picture of Jay, and you'd think that's his love child. Put it up. What you see? I'm telling you.
He's fast as well. I like Robert Garcia.
You're thinking of Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia. Wrong.
No. Robert Garcia is the man that was working with Anthony Joshua recently.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
What did you think of that whole?
Because he got the baseball cap on backwards as well, saying like, that's how we run. Hey. So I'm telling you, you look Hispanic.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, go on.
What did you think of the whole Joshua fight and sort of how he reacted afterwards?
Why? This is what I noticed about this. You got to be very careful with certain people, right?
He's trying to set you up already.
Especially these white people. You got to be careful. Everyone's jumping on the fact of how Anthony Joshua reacted after the fight. Oh, how he reacted after the fight. Why don't we just look on the fact of this? Here is a young man. There's a young man and he tried to tell his life story at the end of the fight, right? Because when you're not used to losing, it's very difficult to handle it. And Anthony Joshua is not just Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is a brand. Yeah. Anthony Joshua is like Pepsi Cola. He's like Coca-Cola. He's like Tate and Lau. He's like, you got to think, Anthony Joshua he's big business, right? He's carried that on his shoulders. To say, well, number one, Anthony Joshua is appealing to the masses, especially when he was just this old guy, like the friendly neighborhood giant who wouldn't offend nobody, who wouldn't say nothing to. But then we're starting to see little real kind of things on Anthony Joshua where like certain people do little bitch moves and say, well, Anthony Joshua said this to me. Or you get them students the other day who put out a video of like when he does something, look, behave yourself.
Oh yeah, he was telling them off when I remember.
So all of these kind of things, and we're saying, right, Anthony Joshua he's actually human.
Yeah.
Right? But he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. A lot of weight. And that reaction, I know many people have suffered from mental health, right? And I know like mental health it's a major issue now, right? And sometimes if you don't let things out and you kind of hold on to it.
Makes it worse.
They're the things that smash you to bits. They're the things like make you get old. They're the things that that give you grey hairs when you're not going to get grey hairs. Those are the things that make you get lines in your face. Those are the things that, what happens is like, when you hold something in, you've got it inside of you. It's something that needs to be released, and it's a poison that you're holding inside of you, and it needs to be splurted out. Do you know what I mean? What was it? What was the film? Big film. Witches of Eastwick. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the little devil was eating all the cherries. And like, I can't remember which one of the actors it was, but she spewed out all those cherry bits. And that's what it is. That's that poison inside you. You have to spew it out. If you keep it inside you, it's going to kill you. So I'm not going to be fighting down Anthony Joshua because I know the pressure that he's under. Here's a young man that single-handedly revitalized British boxing. I can't knock Eddie Hearn as well, but Eddie Hearn needed the talent to do it. Right, they revitalized it. They put eyeballs on this sport. Anthony Joshua's a global icon. You can go anywhere. And the next thing, Anthony Joshua is loved by females in general. I'm not just saying like one set of females, like, oh, he's good looking. No, you got white girls, black girls, Asian girls. Oh my God, Anthony Joshua. Oh my God, look at it, Anthony Joshua. Right. I go to fights. You go to any Joshua fight, it's like you're going to a party.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an event.
Right, it's an event.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, I believe that I'm a name in boxing. I'll turn up, and if I'm at the York Hall anyway, so everyone will take selfie with you. You go to any Joshua fight, people don't know who you are. Because he's demographic, he's not just boxing.
Yeah,
It's
bigger than that. Yeah,
He's big. He's big business. So imagine you're carrying all of that. Every little thing. Anthony Joshua must be the most scrutinized person on the planet. Anywhere he goes, we're scrutinizing him. Oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I should be doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very difficult for him to ride that wave. And it's a massive like dichotomy inside of himself. He's done great things financially, incredible things. As a boxer, he's a good fighter. You wouldn't be able to win an ABA championship, which is a national title, as an amateur. You wouldn't be able to go to the World Games and win a silver medal if you weren't no good. You wouldn't be able to go to Olympic Games and win a gold medal if you weren't good, right? But the thing is this, what people do is this. We sit down and we look at how success rate of people, right? And instead of saying, well, this guy must be a blessed human being, we look and we say, well, such and such had more talent than him and he didn't make it, so to hell with Anthony Joshua. And that's wrong. Yeah, I mean, we should be embracing him to say, look how you've turned your life around. You could have gone down the wrong way, right? Anthony Joshua as a kid, I remember meeting him 2010. And I was saying and he was then, he said, nah, Unks, it's all about me getting the bag, right? So no matter what I had to go do to get the bag, I'm going to go do it. As long as I don't sell out my morals or my dignity. He's got the bag. You know what I mean? He's got a few $100 million put down. His last fight, he got £35 million. Could you imagine? Like, I could give someone $3 million to lose their mind, right? So,
and he's still being an ambassador. He's
trying to, but he's a human being.
Yeah, it was such a. I thought it was such a human reaction, and it was like, you know, just him.
I agree. Yeah.
Being like just raw and just letting it out. And you know, we've discussed this a couple of times, how mental health, if you don't speak about it, it just bottles up, and it can take years, and then, you know, that's how things like suicide comes into play and everything. And it's like it's such a. It's got to be more.
I think what it is like, obviously you've got more knowledge than anyone, like pretty much anyone that I know out there on boxing, right?
In the whole world, let's call it straight. In the whole world, let's call it. In the whole world, just joking. I'm just joking.
Well, I don't know anyone.
No,
I can't think
true,
of anyone, right? And I think what it is, right, when you look at him without that much knowledge that you have, right, of Anthony Joshua. Obviously, you can't say anything bad about him because he's in incredible shape. He looks amazing, yet everybody seems to be positive towards him. But if you grow up watching someone like, you know, Mike Tyson,
it's different.
And you're seeing this man who looks like a warrior, Anthony Joshua. Yeah. He goes into a ring with a guy that's like, 2 stone lighter than him. And I know Usyk's unbelievable, right? The way he dances around the ring. And you see Anthony Joshua go in, and he sort of looks like he's holding back on his punches, and he looks like he's holding, and you just think, if you just went in there, this is my thinking, like Tyson did, he would ruin, this is my thought, but he looks like he's holding back and he's measuring himself because he's trying to technically box these people, where if he used his strength and power, it feels like he would do better. And that's just obviously.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking where you're coming from. But how many fights you had?
I love it.
Just
true.
None amateur or professional, just with these and
Okay,
sparring.
I know the shit. Right. So I'm not knocking that because there's the whole energy of this. Like people say, like, oh well, if you went to a restaurant and I'm not a Michelin star chef and you used to order a steak, and the steak didn't taste nice, because you're not a Michelin star chef, do you have the right to complain about it? Of course you do, because it's not to your taste, it's not to your appetite, right? So that's how I go when it goes to like. But I like to use this one with certain people because there's certain supposed, and I'm gonna say supposed, there's certain supposed people of the sport who are inside the sport, and right now it's just like anyone can just hold a microphone and talk boxing, and they must know boxing. No, you don't, right? Boxing or to acquire true knowledge takes years and years and years of study, years of revision. Years. Now, somebody like Anthony Joshua, I actually agree with you. If you just went in there and went Wakanda forever, drank some of that purple herb, right? You know what I mean? You have now the power of the Black Panther. Yes, I believe they can run through Usyk, right? But it's easier said than done because Usyk is a man who's had over 315 amateur fights. Usyk is a man that in between rounds of training, does mathematical puzzles.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with an ordinary man.
And I see that thing when he catches he
exactly.
throws 5 pennies and he catches 5 at a time.
You are not dealing with an ordinary man.
Yeah.
This man he's not an ordinary man. Or he's IQ. And I'm like many things are cerebral, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about something long enough, right? Even not to the law of attraction, but when you think about something long and hard, the energy that you produce, you can feel from that energy you're producing, you're actually producing an aura, right? And in Usyk, he has produced an aura of invincibility, which is also a lot on psychology. But psychology, what is deep psychology? Deep psychology is trickology. I'm actually tricking you. I'm actually fooling you. They were sat at the press conference prior to the second fight.
I saw this.
Right?
Yeah.
And his trainer, his manager was sat down there saying, Usyk is the only person who I know who can hold his breath underwater for 4.5 minutes. Hold up a second, this is not a scuba diving competition. The day when he fought Anthony Joshua, he went on a bike ride for 10 kilometers. Wait a minute, you're not doing Tour de France, right? Usyk is a man. So you're listening to this and you're sat there, right? You're sat there, Anthony Joshua sat there. As much as you want to be oblivious to it, those things are working in your head. You're working in your psyche because shit, he done all of that and he beat me, right? I know these tricks. Unfortunately, I'm telling it how it is. Anthony Joshua didn't have the real guys around him. He needed some road guys around him. He said, listen, brother, listen, you little pussy, shut your mouth. I'll smack you up in it. That's what he needed to hear. He didn't have to say it, but when he trained, he needed guys like that around him. So he's thinking, you know what? That's where the confidence coming. Everyone all smiley. I want to take selfies and all this kind of. This is a fight.
I saw that in the ring.
Even during the rains, I like the trainers; they're great. But even during the rains, great rain tramp, keep going. I thought, God, mate, time to go back in and just.
Bro, I don't know. I'm being real. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So you could like it. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people who work with your dad will never turn around and say the same thing to your dad if your dad was in that situation, right? And say to your dad, okay, then, well, we're winning a fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're winning a fight. Are you trying to say that he's that mentally weak that you can't tell him the truth? Like, bruv, we got to stick it on this guy. Because as soon as you say, we got this, you're winning, you know what it does? It gives you that level of comfortability.
Yeah.
Makes you relax. Makes it go, exactly.
And you think, okay, the next round could be a little bit easier. And
And
all of a sudden you're 2-3 rounds behind.
I could drop this round because I'm ahead anyway. No, you don't take those chances. And the next thing, and this is the rules, because I say this on my podcast, week in, week out, with Babatunde Ajayi, the trainer of Andy Yard on The Fight Is Right. And I'm saying it here with you guys on the Boardman podcast. If you're with a trainer, I just want you to know this now. If you're with a trainer, you gaining experience can't be at my experience. You've got to do something prior to me to feel that I feel confident enough that I've got, this is not no bridging thing. This is not no friend thing. I feel really, because you make me feel good. And if I'm happy, then no, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? A trainer is a teacher, then who have you taught? Then who have you taught, and what school of learning did you come from? That's what I want to know, right? And I'm not knocking Angel Fernandez. I think the hustle that he has pulled has been fantastic, right? Because I'm not saying he's a bad trainer, but I'm saying, like, you can't gain your experience off of my experience. We're in a world heavyweight title fight, a 12-round title fight. You have never trained anybody who has been up into a Southern area or a Central area championship. You haven't taken someone from scratch and got to there, but you've got into Anthony Joshua's camp.
Yeah.
And as you go into nah, brother, that's a liberty.
He's been Joshua's first heavyweight guy as well that he's trained. So
Right, where does that?
That's
And as you know, Jay, that is the difference. You have 17 different weight categories, and then you have heavyweight boxing. You know why? Because heavyweights, they apply metrics, their body definition, the calisthenics, and when they're training, is totally different from anybody else. Why? Because they are heavyweights. You know what I mean? So that is that. And that's my gripe. I'm not turning around saying that Angel Fernandez isn't a good trainer. I'm not saying that at all. But I have to be real. You know what I mean? I can't be one of these guys that, hey, no, and maybe that's been a problem in my life, but I have to just keep this thing. I don't care. I have to keep this thing 100. Your experience on the job is meant to be from your past experiences. Don't be leaving a fight now. And your experience with Anthony Joshua, when you've been in that corner, has been 2 defeats. So then what? I'm second then. So something's not going right then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something's not going right. And then they brought in Robert Garcia. So I'm gonna keep it. Listen, you started me today, you know, because right. Then you brought in Robert Garcia. I ain't knocking Robert Garcia. You know what I mean? It could be your dad. Right? I'm not knocking Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia is a very good trainer. Robert Garcia has trained 14 world champions. Robert Garcia has been in many. Robert Garcia's brother is gonna be a Hall of Famer. Robert Garcia is a former world champion himself. You went to America, bro. Now, I know how this game goes. Now, we affiliate, or we have an assembly to people who share common interests as you. There's no common denominator. None whatsoever. Would you go into America and you getting an Hispanic trainer? None whatsoever. I'm just keeping this thing 100. Yeah. None.
That's so true, yeah.
Right? Where was the correlation? Where was the link? Where was the synergy? There was none whatsoever. And I know even more so there was none whatsoever. This is the man who's the experienced guy. He's the guy who's been in the world champions, and he wasn't the head cornerman. He was the guy that was on the outside. And you're saying, right, you're taking chances like that. I'm going with experience. That's it. Because you cannot buy experience. You got to earn experience. And that's that.
That's so
and that's
true.
not applying. Listen, and the next thing, this is not me hating on Angel Fernandez. A lot of people in the hood are calling him Devil Fernandez. This is the truth, right? Right? This is not me hating on you. This is just me telling you the truth.
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you get... We all asked this. What got you into this, Spencer? Like, I know you must have started from a young age. Like, where did you grow up? What got you into... You must have known that your mind's got this sort of photographic memory where you can remember all the fights, all the fighters, all the trainers. What got you into it in the very early days?
I boxed amateur. I was in love with Muhammad Ali as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's mad because I got Ali tail end. I got Muhammad Ali at the tail end, but what he signified to black people was incredible. In his stance that he took. And I would just keep on reading and reading and reading. Recently, my mum died. So I had to go, it's all right. She's still with me, so I know the tricks in that. So I'm not going to be, this is the physical, but there's the spiritual, and the spiritual never goes.
Nikola Tesla said he spoke to his mum when she passed away.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And what my mum stood for was just incredible. My mum was the embodiment of self-assertiveness and to be proud of who you were at a time when I would say, like, people of color weren't being taught to be proud of themselves. You know what I mean? Because it was all around you then. It's totally different now. The world is evolving, it's changing. And so my dad was a very placid man, very quiet, but my mum was like, she's very raw. She would have it with anyone. My mum could fight as well. So I remember I was about 4 years old. My mum went out and bought me a pair of boxing gloves and a blow up Incredible Hulk punching bag. And then and she said, right, you got to fight, because I was really a little scaredy.
Where was it? What area was this?
It's in Kennan, which is not far from here. So my mum taught me that. But they never really wanted me to box, because my dad being of that age group, like them old West Indians, he was like, well, son, look what they done to... They never called Muhammad Ali. They'd always call him Clay. Right? No, they mash up clear. You cannot do it. Your brains will mash up. And I'm like, no, my brain's going to be intact. So I always wanted to box. And so I started boxing, going to the amateur clubs from when the Brixton Recreation Centre opened. So I must have been about 10, 11. And from then, my love for boxing was just crazy, because I would buy every magazine. I would deliberately get a paper round so I could get all the boxing magazines. So they wouldn't have to pay me cash.
Did that come through the training? Did you get to a certain point where the training was just so good and you went, right, I've fallen in love with this whole thing now?
No, I more fell in love with the histrionics and the style. And I liked the guys who would the flash. I liked it. I liked the guys who would speak up against authority. I just loved those people. I loved them.
If your dad was like placid and your mum was like a hard woman.
Very hard.
Was you looking for that like male role model in them in a little way? Because I sort of see that in Tyson a little bit. Even now, he's got so much wisdom, and I listen to him and sort of see him as a bit of a role model. Is that what you was looking for in these guys when you read? Because to read the history of them is almost different to doing it in the ring, I think. Because I love going in and pads and the technicalities, but I don't know 1/10 the history you do. I see them as two different things.
No, what it was this. I wasn't looking for a male role model. I had a role. My dad was an incredible human being. My dad, it's 17 years since he passed away now. And now he was incredible. And you know what? You always get so as you, I grew up on a council estate, and people would have this mindset that you're coming from a broken home. I didn't come from a broken home. You know what I mean? I remember going to school and loads of kids were getting free dinners. I'd be upset because every week we'd get this little packet, this little thing that you'd have to write the days of the week, and you pay for your school dinners, because both my parents worked. So my dad was an engineer for British Aerospace, and my mother worked for the Shell company. You know what I mean? In the kitchens. So I was saying we was rich, but we was all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We was all right. We was all right. So I remember going saying, Mummy, why do you have to pay for school dinners? This one in class, that one in class, they're not paying for it. And my mum was to explain to me, no, it's because they're not in an economic structure for them to be able to pay for their food. But I was upset, nah, there's got to be a way we don't have to pay for it. Why don't you stop working, Mummy, so we could get free dinners? So the role models that I had, I went looking at these men for role models. How it goes is this. It's at that time, especially in boxing, when you understand the history of boxing, the great men who were just classy. I remember having this, Knight Fletcher was the man who originated the Ring magazine, or he's the founder of the Ring magazine. And he had a yearbook, a boxing yearbook, and I would study that from front to back and back, every single day.
Wow.
I'd come home from school, I'd study it. I'd be inside school, I'd be in the class, but I'd have that book and I'm studying it. I would just study that book religiously till I knew that book line for line, page for page. I knew the book.
And when you get obsessed like that, I did that with Prizefight. I did 2 years of research, just completely on one small time period. And as soon as you start it, you just get obsessed with it. You want to know everything. Learn about what soap they use to wash themselves and how the boxers did this and that. And when you become obsessed, you really want to get into it.
And I have been obsessed with this sport.
Yeah.
Ever since. And it's never calmed down. It's always been.
No, it's different now. It's different now, because when you have children, you know what I mean? When you got missus and you got a freaking massive mortgage to pay each month, it's different. You don't, but essentially everything revolves around boxing. The work that I do, everything revolves around boxing. But the inroads that it's given me is just incredible. Or the guys that I would sit down and they'll be my heroes as a kid. Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno. These are guys that ring me regularly now. That's the buzz. And to my kids, it means nothing. absolutely nothing. Like, like nothing. You know what I mean? It's especially like my son. My son's going to be 11 on the weekend. My son's like, it means absolutely nothing to him.
You were telling me
kids?
he's crazy about Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So
Listen, my son Amari, and I handily say like he. I don't like using the word step because I didn't step over anyone and I didn't step into a position. He's my child. I've raised him since he's been 3 years old, right? And that kid's a genius. Like when it comes to like how he can coagulate things in his mind, I'm like, yeah. And he's a big Marvel fan, like everything on Marvel. When it was started, what was the first ink that came onto the pen by Stan Lee? He's mad into it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's mad. He's mad.
Taking
Yeah,
that part of your brain.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. He's mad into it. So I know, like on certain things, like they don't have to be biologically linked to you, but they're spiritually linked to you. So for that, I'm saying that's very much me. But when people say like, you got photographic memory, like David A would say, you got photographic when we was training. No, you've got photographic memory, and I ain't. But what I realized, what was it, 18 months ago, I got diagnosed with autism. Yeah. So that's the reason why. So, but if you're around me long enough, you see, there's something going on.
We've all got mad ADHD, honestly.
Yeah?
It's crazy. Yeah,
I'm autistic as well.
It's the cocaine, don't worry.
Spence, we're like going on to James' question. I want to know, like, man, you're so fucking real. You talk real. Yeah. You don't give a shit. You say what you say. You say what's like proper, also, real and raw. But it's with fire and passion.
No, but then also, it's funny because when you not funny, but when you said about your mum, I could feel it. Just the way that you are. You're like the So I know what you mean.
Like you said about your mum's influence, and you mentioned your dad. Where did at what point in your life did you go, or maybe you've always had it? Did you go, right? I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna, speak the truth.
No,
and stand for something as well. Just go, right. I believe in this, and that's it.
The thing is this, right? To be real, how it was this. I like sometimes my bravery was out of fear. Especially when I was a kid. It's really weird. Me growing up as a kid, in the area that I grew up was a predominantly white area. I got called every racial slur you could, because it's a predominantly white area and there were like 4 black families living in our community. 4. So my oldest friend, his name's Edmund Clotty. They were actually a Ghanaian family, Ghanaian and Sierra Leone. And I'll tell you on the divide, I'm going to educate certain people. There's a big racial divide in cultures when it comes to black people. Like if you're West Indian, you mess with West Indian people, especially like 70s and 80s. If you was from any of the African countries, which are 54, you would join with your own people. So there was a split within us. Like, I remember one time I dated this Nigerian girl. And I took her home, and my mom said, "Oh, Angela, where your family from?" And she said, "No." My mom said, "Oh, which part of Jamaica your family from?" And she went, "Oh no, my mom's from Lagos." And my mom said, "Right?" It was like, no, right. So all that, there was a massive divide in that. But what I realized is powers in numbers. So as a kid, like all the black families who was going through their little racial slurs and nonsense every day, we all linked up together. So it was like, from a very, very young age, what I realized was like there was no difference within black folks from young, because here was me, a Jamaican, regularly going to a Ghanaian's house religiously, eating their foods, right? Their food's slightly different from Jamaican food. Right? But essentially it's the same food, right? So I had that. I grew up that. And then also what I realized is like, I also had like some diehard white mates who were like, they'll die for me, who are my friends today. So we realized that loads of things are divisive. And we use loads of things to be divisive. We use skin complexion. Right? You're Asian, so you definitely know. Mm-hmm. Right? There's a caste system. Right. 100%. So we do this as human beings. We do this within Europeans, white people. You be a ginger. You be ginger. Look, divisive. And then we start realizing, like, you know what? When we knock down these barriers, we realize that we're all one people, one family, one human family. But we have to get over the bullshit first. And I'm grateful that I've got over the bullshit. But what I do realize is that I'm proud of who I am. I am so amazingly proud of who I am. And because I'm so proud of who I am, I'm at the forefront to say how proud I am. And then certain people who don't understand the shit that I'm saying, they will misconstrue that, oh, he must hate white folks. I'm saying, are you mad? Have you seen how many white people come to my house on a daily basis? Have you seen my friends who I've got? So it's just one of those kind of things. But going back to the original question, it's like, I didn't decide, I don't give a shit. I didn't just decide that. I just thought, like, I'm just gonna be me. So me, I grew up in a Sunday school at Elephant Castle, the Tabernacle Sunday School. I would say to any child, like, spiritual base, take out religion, because I'm actually Muslim now, right? But take out spirituality. You know what I mean? Now, no one can't tell me, like, the inroad to the Most High or the higher being is got to be this way, or it's got to be that way. Whatever floats your boat. You know what I mean? You be a Muslim, be a good Muslim. You be a Jew, you be a good Jew. You be a Christian, be a good Christian. You be a Sikh, Hindu, Buddhist. Don't care what you are. Be good at that. So then we got common denominator. Our common denominator is what? Because we're actually good folks. Do you know what I mean? And once we do that, then we're cool. So I've realized from young that when you stand for something, not everyone's going to get it. Because not everyone is meant to get it. Because a lot of people are sheep. And I ain't no sheep. I'm not a wolf neither, but I'm not a sheep. So when you stand up and say, well, I'm not a sheep, what's his problem then? Because straight away people think you've got a problem with you. I ain't got a problem with you. Do you know what I mean? The powers that be, just like you being a European and you're thinking, the system, you complain about the system, right? You do. I know you do. You just go, I'll complain about the system. You tell the truth, Jay.
Which system?
The system. No, you talk about the system, like the political, economical system, how we'll govern the world.
I would complain about that. Yeah.
You'll complain about it.
I will.
Right. Me being a black person, I'm complaining about that. But how I complain, I'm not calling it the system. I'm calling it the white man.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the same bloody thing, but we just use a different terminology to describe the thing. And I'm not talking about no European white person who's on the same money as me, or is on 10 or 20 grand or 100 grand more than, no, because that's not the problem. When I'm talking about the system is a system. The system has no color, but it's very smart. Because what the system has done through years and years and years, and don't think like it's just come over all of a sudden, like last 10 years. No, the system has been designed. The mechanisms have been designed. So if the designer of the system, in the beginning, it was the European that designed the system. So the system was set up to put, let's deal with you, let's go over here, let's rename this country, let's take over this, let's change the history books, let's make countries look smaller than what they really are, and let's make the European countries look bigger than what they really are, and then, so this is all part of this mechanism. This is all part of
that divide.
Yeah, of this divide. But what you start to realize, the whole thing is this: the people at the top deliberately design it so that everybody in the middle be fighting about all kind of bullshit, but they still rule the top, right? And once you realize that, you say, "Well, I'm not falling into that trap." Yeah. Everybody, listen, we got peace and love to everybody, irrespective. You handle me right, this is my rule. You handle me right.
Yeah, I heard the other day, like if there was a billionaire white woman and a billionaire black woman and they were talking, they wouldn't be talking about BLM, right? If there was a billionaire, two billionaires talking, they wouldn't be talking about certain issues with the economy. They'd be talking about their own things and the own things they like. It seems like all this stuff has been made to be divisive. And it was only through this pandemic that it opened my eyes and I started finally seeing all, people being locked in their houses.
He's mad on it.
Yeah. I know, but
what did you think? What did you think of the pandemic? What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, YouTube have changed their algorithm now. Before, if you spoke about the pandemic or COVID, they'd
they used to block you because you still can't say COVID, right? You say COVID.
COVID, yeah, COVID, yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah, nice brother, yeah, COVID, yeah. Anyway,
so my background is like science, right? So when the thing happened, to go from that, if we finish on that last subject, right? So I remember downloading. I'm same as you, autistic from when I was at school. So I basically got all the numbers, downloaded all the numbers from Public Health England and just looked through everything.
And you read everything, you read all the papers.
I'm good at reading papers, so I used Google Scholar, I used all of the Lancet, even though that published some really erroneous papers, and I read them all. And I'm looking at the news and I'm seeing them saying that, X number of millions of people have died, people should, and everybody who watched the TV was in a fearful state. And when I watched it, I was like, wow, this is terrible. The world's going to end. They were saying that, death rate was 17% at the beginning, something like that, if you were to get it. So I started watching it and I started thinking, hold on, now look at the numbers. The numbers of people that are dying, that are young and healthy and not overweight, are minuscule, like tiny, but they're shutting schools. They're forcing children to have vaccinations. So I just started really...
Yeah, our kids have just got a letter through for polio. I said, I haven't heard of polio since 1974. Yeah. What the hell are they for polio? Yeah, it just literally just come through. Yeah.
Wow. People forget, right? Like, I drove through Soho, the busiest part of London, on my bike.
Yeah, what time?
Nobody there.
What you doing down there?
Old Compton Street. Yeah. If you know. I was
hanging out with a certain boxer.
And which one?
I'm not going to say that.
And it was no, but people forget it was empty. Businesses were put out. Suicide rates went up. Like, I saw my friends, all these things happening. And people are like, okay, well, it's business back to normal now. But what that did, before that, I didn't give a shit about politics because I was selfish. All I cared about was, am I happy today? That's all I cared about. And in a way, living like a selfish, naive way is good. But my mum was like, James, this has politicised you because you started listening to politicians. This guy, do you remember Neil Ferguson?
Yep.
He came in, he was called Dr. Doom. He said the UK needs to lock down. He was in court having an extramarital affair when everyone was locked down. Same thing happened with the next Public Health Secretary of England.
So why are you having an extramarital? What does that mean? I don't mean nothing.
He was
You're meant to have an extramarital affair.
He was supposed to be locked down in his house.
He was stressed.
Yeah.
He needed to release.
Maybe.
His wife was getting on his nerves.
But while everyone's locked down and getting fines and can't leave the country, he was going out, having sex with someone out of his household, right? They put a law in called the no bonking law. So it did drive me crazy and I had to pull away and move to Mexico and stop thinking about it. But what it did, it opened my eyes to see that now there is a lot of lies in the system that you've called it, right? And you've got this thing where the only thing I can see that's consistent is that there seems to be, they want a polarization. So, if you put something about, I'm 6-year-old and you've had a gender reassignment, it will go to the top of Facebook. There are certain things, I'm not saying that Mark Zuckerberg himself wants polarization, but that's the way that things seem to happen. So it keeps everybody kind of arguing, and I know it can sound kind of conspiratorial, but it keeps everybody on this level rather than, they're trying to, one thing that we've all been saying a lot about boxing is that, strong men, and this is one of the reasons why we want to start the podcast, is we believe we're like 3 strong men, physically strong, but we're not that, what you would call that toxic, like, we're not like that Andrew Tate.
You have to put that in now because you'll get banned if you're like Andrew Tate. You'll be finished.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what we want to show. We want to show that you can be strong men, you can be successful, you can do things the right way whilst having more of a sensitive side as well. And that's what we sort of tried to put across, because if the male population are made more docile, which it seems to be, testosterone levels are decreasing, then it can be kind of dangerous because then it's easier to, I hate using the word control, but it's easier to push a population if everybody just says, yeah, okay, I'll accept another lockdown.
If you can't notice, there's a lot of an uprising right now when it comes to black culture or black identity. There's a lot of things where before people were scared to talk about, now they're being open to talk about it. And it will take guys like yourself to bring that up. Because how it goes is this: 2 black guys sitting down talking about it, right? We're talking about only from our perspective, right? And our perspective is that the European system is an evil, demonic, plagued, driven devil, right? You say the same thing, but you don't say the European. You just say this system is they're pushing their agenda. And you say they are the same people who most black people talking about and say these are the devils, right? So once everybody realizes the terminology and the language, because there must be a language or barrier or communication barrier, then that's the solidarity, and it's happening right now. And that's the fear of the world. The fear of the world, the great men who put the design, and they were great. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they were good, they were wickedly great, but they were great men who put this design in order, this thing in place to divide everybody, to get everyone infighting, right? So we won't look on the real goal or the real aspiration. We won't look at it. We think we have the ideals of the real goal. The real goal is, you say, well, what's the real goal? I'm saying to you, would you rather be rich or have no debt?
What, fiscally rich?
Yeah. Would you, economically rich. Would you rather be rich or have no debt?
The way the system works at the moment, you'd be better to be financially rich.
Right. How the system works.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, when someone turns around and says to you, like, oh, well, having a lot of money don't make you happy. That's bullshit. Having a lot of money does make you happy.
Agreed.
Right? It does. Simple fact that you're not stressing yourself, worried about what you got to do next.
100%.
You're not stressing yourself about, because it's the stress. But then, when you're on that spiritual plane, when you're saying to hell with money, because like, money's man-made, right? So you say to hell with money, but I'm still going to have the best life. I know some people financially, they ain't got a dough, but they are rich. Seriously, they are so wealthy. I know loads of people who got like billions. I know a guy who's got billions and he's life's in turmoil.
It's like Bob Marley said that, you know, rich is his life. And
Right.
Well, the more money you got, the more problems you have for sure. But that's an
No, that's a
extreme-
lie. There ain't. We say like the more. Listen, it says in the
I
book.
don't- I-
That's
yeah, I
a
don't
lie.
do that.
That's a lie.
I don't think more money, more problems.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
see, that's a lie.
okay,
That's
you-
Biggie Smalls, right? But I'm saying to you, no, that's a lie.
Well,
That's a lie.
If you're working at something you love, like which you do, which like you're enjoying reading that stuff, most people are, when they're earning a lot of money, unless it's been given to them, okay, it's easy, and they most normally take a lot of drugs and drink a lot. If you've made it money yourself, you're employing a lot of people, and you do have stress because you don't know who's your friend, all these people around you. Just what I have times 10, times 100, I've seen those people, and typically they are stressed. Some people, they get the calculation, the formula for life right.
that's your experience.
Yeah.
You might.
So
you
this
know,
is what I'm trying to say to you. Hold up a second. I'll be saying to you. Like, when you said, like, are you a billionaire? I said, no, I'm not a billionaire. Reason being is this. It's because what I have inside of me is worth more than billions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I got life eternal.
Yeah.
Do you understand that bit there? When I mean like life eternal, I mean like life eternal.
Yeah.
And also I want people to realize, you see the love that I got in my community? It's mad. One day I'll take you and you see. You think, nah, this is crazy. It's crazy because the real ones know that I haven't itched when I weren't itching. I haven't scratched when I haven't scratched. I ain't played this little to try and get through doors or anything else. I ain't sold out my morals or anything else like that. I ain't done none of that shit.
Yeah.
Right? And like that makes you sleep in your bed at night really, really comfortable, number one. But what makes me sleep in bed really comfortable is the fact that I've got a ridiculous network. No, my network is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I always constantly earn.
But you're financially successful, right? So if we're so you do need money to make you happy, but you've got an amount of money that you can live comfortably and live to then say, I want to live a spiritual life. Most people.
That's not true.
No,
'Cause I was
most
talking about
people-
living a spiritual life. I've been taught to live a spiritual life from the get-go, from the jump.
yeah, from before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right, from the jump. Right? But I'm gonna be real with you now. God, Allah, universe, whatever. I mean, you being Sikh, you got loads of different gods, right?
Not necessarily.
Right, but
there's gurus and then there's one
there's
God,
head
yeah.
God, right? So I'm trying to say, like,
First
so
time
you
I've-
got
first time
demigods.
I've ever heard him say Sikh. You're not. He's lying.
No, no.
Why would I lie about my
I've never
religion?
heard you say Sikh ever.
I've been practiced Sikh all my life.
Exactly.
Like, you know.
I mean, come on, don't pick on him. That's not nice. You know what I mean, so I'm trying to say to you, right?
Yeah. all right.
Calm down, man. Right. So
Just gonna get on.
I'm saying you need a level of money to be comfortable to be able to be spiritual. Like this guy.
no,
would
that's
tell you-
rubbish.
You agree
Absolute
with that, Jay?
Listen, absolute rubbish. See, that's your way of thinking because your mindset's because European,
Yeah.
right? So you think, all right, you need to have this, and then you can have. That's rubbish. Now, because you've kind of settled down now. Now you can do this podcast for fun, and it's going to be successful. Simply because I'm on it. It's going to
Yeah,
be
100%. Episode
right?
one.
Innit?
we should make
I'm
this
telling you, it's going to shoot up, right? And all the death threats, right? But I'm saying to you this now, yeah, that I remember as a kid, I'm going back 1993, and Chris Eubank was on a show, and like me and Chris are really tight. Yeah, I mean, you need to get him on your show. You need to get money. So.
Love Chris Eubank,
right?
man. I grew up watching him.
Right, and Eubank said to Eubank on the show, this was called The Devil's Advocate. There's a man called Darkers Howell, who was a really black political figure, and Eubank got up and he says, he went, money is freedom, and I want to be free, so I need money. And I was listening to that.
That's a great impression.
I do loads of words. And I was like, I'm there, and I remember I just won the PLAs, was Port of London Association Championships, and so I was one of the guests there. I was about 18, and I was there, and I was like, wow, like in order for me, I went by that philosophy, like money's freedom. So if you want to have, you got to have money, right? You got to have money, and I'm saying when people turn around saying like, was it the money is the root of all evil?
Yeah.
It's rubbish. It's the lack of money that's the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Because when you ain't got shit, right now it's like
there's a famous saying: money makes a difference. It shouldn't make you different.
Exactly.
Money makes a difference.
Right.
Shouldn't
You know
make
what money
different.
is? Money is like, you're a pretty cool guy. I come in the J, you're all up and there, and I say, my energy's all up and high, but it's, you know what I mean? I say,
It's his feminine side.
Right, exactly, right. But it's only because of Miss Hawkins, and I'm saying like, I'm saying, right, energy is proper energy. And I'm saying, right, guys, cool. All money does, it's a great revealer. So whoever you are, when you didn't have it, when you got it, it's just going to amplify it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all money is.
Yeah, that's so
Right?
true.
It's a great revealer. Because you see certain people, like with me,
So see, you were a nice guy before.
right, exactly. You were not, of course you were, right? If you were like a cold, callous kind of person, and all of a sudden you won the lottery, you're just gonna be a cold, callous person, but with lottery money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you was a kind, giving, thoughtful person before you had money, when you got money, you're gonna be even more kind, even more generous. This is all money. All money is a great revealer, right?
And he is like that. Like it's so stupid. Like you go through London and you'll go to a cash machine now and give a homeless person 50. Like, and that's a lot of money. Like, and he'll do that to every. And I'm like, James, we haven't got to the restaurant yet or anything, and he's given someone like to cash machine.
This is what I'm trying to say to you. So all money is a great revealer. Nothing more, nothing less. But the thing about it is this: is like whatever you think about, you bring about. You know what I mean? Whatever you think about, you are going to bring about. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's like thoughts become things, then you got to go and actively go out and work for the things that you want, right?
Yeah.
When you haven't got money or exponential amount of money, you think to yourself like, oh, but if I had this, if I da-da-da, but all the rest of it. And then when you get it, you're kind of stuck because you've achieved what you're meant to achieve. Yeah. You're kind of like, right,
what do I do now?
Yeah, what do I do now? Yeah. So when I'm saying to you, like, the spiritual worth is the real thing. The spiritual worth, knowing that I'm going to do for something that money can't buy. You know what I mean?
It's life, it's money,
right?
it's energy, it's everything.
The two things you mentioned before, please keep that trail of thought, but the two things you mentioned that was really interesting to me, one you said was community, right? And I've not had that around me for a long time because, but you are kind of now. Because we spend a lot of time together.
Changed now, he's a celebrity. You can't talk to him no more.
Oh, don't tell him that.
It's the truth, though. You phone Matt now and it rings out. Right, Matt, what's going on? Go on. Did you go on set with him when he was filming?
I was in the film.
You was in the film?
Yeah.
Who was you in the film?
I was like 6 minutes in. I was the, what do you call it?
Bookie.
The bookie.
On the cockpit with the long hair. With Russell Crowe. Yeah.
So I met him. I auditioned for one of his films. I do some acting. I auditioned for one of his films. I was in one of his other films a couple of years ago.
Right? Now check this one out now. Right? When you were on set and you went like, oh, Matt, he's like, oh, not now. Not now. You go over there. It was one of them.
He was pretty good with me. But the director was like that and Russell Crowe was like that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the thing about it is this, where you have to realise, like, the position that Russell Crowe's in, you got to give him ratings. He's come hell of a long way.
Definitely.
I mean, hell of a long way. Man, what was the film that Russell Crowe was in with?
All these films are good.
With Denzel Washington. He was in the film with Denzel Washington.
American Gangster.
No. Before then, they were in a film together.
Oh,
Virtuosity.
Virtuosity, yeah.
Right?
1996.
Yeah, 96, right? I had that on videotape.
Yeah, that's bad.
Bag of bollocks, right? But terrible film.
It is terrible. Yeah.
It's frigging rubbish, right? But if you look on that guy's journey, I can see why certain people, because when you are this celebrity, this movie star, you can get consumed by the bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And none of it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? None of it is real.
Yeah.
It's not real. You know what I mean? It's good to have.
Yeah.
It's good to people to gassing around you, but that's short-lived, and it becomes a drug. It becomes, you know what I mean? And that's why I got a lot of time for Matt, because like, he was like, oh, Spence, can I come on your podcast? And he kept on phoning me every time. Brother, what you little pissed? You know what I mean? It's like, no, but it wasn't that. And he was like, nah, but it was the piece that you did about my dad. You know, his dad's passed now and all the rest of it. It's the thing that you did about my dad and how in depth you spoke about my dad. And it kind of drew me in simply because, like, I'm very passionate about speaking about the histrionics of boxing. You know what I mean? So someone will tell me something, anything, and it's like, I can tell you when they fought, how many fights they had. It used to be a party trick. We don't do it no more now. We get bored of it. Yeah,
you can say the numbers and
I can tell the fights when they fought, what round they got knocked out, right? So then all of a sudden it was like, because they were so interested in that, I was like, right, you know what? Yeah, man. And he's like a little kid. He was like, yeah, can we do this? And, and he's just proper hyped. But it was nice because I know people who haven't done a quarter of what you've done. You made a movie and you managed to get Russell Crowe. Yeah, all right, salute to Russell Crowe, but so did him. Ray Winston is the bad man. The governor.
Yeah.
Where's your tool? Right, anyway, you can't say the other line, but I can. You're saying, but it's gonna come out, yeah. But no, that scum, I don't think, right, you had, that's the energy that you put out and that is a Sylvester Stallone kind of shit.
Yeah.
That's deep. That is deep.
A lot of
It's
respect.
a rocky journey, yeah.
Of course it is.
We and it's such a nice moment. But going back to that, we've had this interesting topic. If you don't mind, hopefully you don't mind me saying. But he said to me before, like, Matt, you know, the connection that we have. I've given him some parts in films with this. He's like, you know, if he's had money, so it's always been like, I've always been helping or giving people. No one's really given much back to you, apart from like the things that we do together.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, well, you know, we're not asking for money. We're doing this experience, or we're going there, or we're doing that, and that's quite a nice, interesting, like.
It is, yeah, and that's what I was saying about community, like, because like the reason Spencer's here is because of Matt. It's not because of me. And it's like you're the only other man I know that's actually bought stuff back, which is what I'd love when you said like one day we could come meet your friends. Like, it'd be amazing because.
Well, there's so many guys in our community, yeah? Sorry to cut you. So many guys in the community that you'd benefit from knowing. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knows, like, I got a ridiculous black book. There's everyone in my phone. Everybody. And I don't ring her and it rings out.
Yeah.
That's a liberty, right? That those things don't happen to me. For us, Spencer's calling, right? Because they know, like, I'm not asking for nothing.
Yeah.
Mate, you've just called Lennox Lewis before the podcast and he's picked up straight away.
But you were talking
second
about
thing-
that network.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about that network and having those people around you, and that's kind of that.
Do you want a water,
that
mate?
wealth
While you're
of-
chatting, do you want a water?
Yeah, thank you.
Can we get another set of waters?
That's that wealth and that spirituality that you hold within. You know.
Mate,
Bro,
it's
Jake,
his
this is the whole
energy
thing.
and his passion, and he's talking like real. That's what it is.
This is the whole thing. This is the whole thing, and this is why I'm grateful for my position. Yeah, because there lies the power, and that is the real riches, right? Don't get twisted. We like have a nice house. I've got that. Nice car to drive. Got that. You know. But the real power is when it's in here. You know what I mean? Not knocking money, because trust me, money's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Don't let no one fool you think it's not a good thing.
The second thing you said was like going to, you said you get these itches or whatever, like everybody does, but you don't go for them, so you sleep well at night. And hearing you say that is quite impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to fall down a line, especially like you're getting a bit more known and all these other, it's very easy to fall down this line and not do things. But the fact to go to bed, that's really good to hear from you, because it's like, right, they're two good things to follow. The only thing
Go on,
The
continue.
only thing I sort of challenge on is the financial thing, right? Because my mum instilled it in me. Look, you need this money to do this. We grew up, sounds similar, like not, you know, and it sounds like it's similar to you, right? From what you explained.
Well, you started with nothing, didn't you? Be honest.
Yeah, no, I had absolutely nothing. Yeah,
That's a lie, though. You didn't start with nothing.
No, you're right. You're right.
Can you put a price on life?
Yeah, that's true.
Can you put a price on life?
No,
You can't put a price on your life.
no.
That's the thing. So when people, I don't fall for that trap.
Yeah,
This is the trick. We have started
You're right.
rich,
you're right. Right, we need to change that from now. You're right. We haven't started from nothing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you didn't start. We started from nothing.
Yeah.
We started from nothing. We started from nothing. That's bullshit.
100%. You've just changed synaptic pathways in my neurons.
Right. I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah.
You started with. Let me tell you this. I don't know if any of you got children. Got children?
Yeah,
How many you got?
I've got a daughter.
How old is she?
She's 9.
9 years old?
9 years old,
Okay,
yeah.
you don't look like you could have a 9-year-old. Right, so I feel like 9 months, that's what I think. Right.
No,
It's because
Right.
she's not here. She's in America.
Okay.
She lives in America with my
Okay.
ex-partner.
Okay, but was you present at the birth?
I was, well, funny story, I wasn't actually, because the border control refused me entry because I thought I was going to overstay my welcome when I was actually
Okay.
going for the birth, yeah.
It's because you look
So,
Hispanic.
Tell him about what your missus did to have the baby.
Yeah, I sort of don't really want to go into that. But,
Okay.
All right.
But it's, I wasn't there for the birth, but she came over
No children and no
3
children.
months later.
You two got no kids,
No,
yeah?
no kids.
Don't worry. What, you barren? What's going on? Sure. I should say, you know what? I got to stop. No, seriously. I'll tell you why. Because I remember I said to some guy.
I'm laughing, but what does it mean? By
Right, no.
I can tell by the way he's moving. He's
Yeah.
like firing blanks or something.
Right, but I remember I
pretends to be asleep.
Like, there's a guy called Alan Lacey. I mean, God bless him. And like, he made me his business partner. We ran a gym together, the Raw Fight Club. It's a very, very successful gymnasium in Liverpool Street, right? And there was a guy, like one of the clients, and he was in there training. And it was white collar, all these snooty guys who'd like to get in there and get bullied by this young guy from South London. It was really a cool setup. And I said to the guy, "What's the matter? Are you like?" He goes, "So how many kids you got now?" He said, "He ain't got any." I said, "What? You barren? Are you shooting blanks?" And then afterwards, he goes, "Oh, you know, me and Emily, we're trying to have a child," and I felt really bad. I was like, he said, "I really like we're going for IVF."
But that's funny.
Like he said, we're going through IVF and it's not working. And yeah. But anyway, it's the truth.
I shouldn't laugh.
So funny.
Right.
I'm sorry to the guy.
Right,
Do you know what?
right, sure. Yeah.
It's so weird. Those
Tickle a nerve
conversations.
now.
I remember having a conversation like that with He's cracked him up.
Tickled a nerve now.
It's weird when you've been in this situation. It's like, if you have a conversation where you say something, and even if it's positive, someone else on the other side can be. I remember having a conversation in COVID. I was on this phone to an agent in America, and I was like, God, like I've had the best time in COVID. I've got in shape. Prize fight was moving forward.
Yeah.
Been looking after myself, no phone, this, that. And then on the other end, she was like, well, my mum's just died and so-and-so's just died. Because
you
of COVID.
thought-
And you just don't know where the line is. And you can do a joke like he's just done, where someone else is like...
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it happened.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing.
I mean,
It's
or even worse
true
than that.
life.
Even worse than that, right? Send this to him. Like my really good friend. I got a guy, Alex Ells, he was a trader for Deutsche Bank. And I actually lived with him for a little while. And he was a white guy. And his dad Jeff he was like, apparently his dad was a bit racist, but he loved me to bits, kind of way. Right? He goes, no, it's not those kind of blacks I don't like, Spence. You know, it's he goes like it's the blacks who speak with a Rastafarian accent. And I was trying to say to him, brother, there's no such thing as a Rastafarian accent.
Yeah.
But he goes like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, but you're really all right. And like I spent loads of time with him. Like me and his dad were really cool. So I ain't seen Alex in a little while. Alex comes down the gym. He comes down the gym to see me to do a bit of training. He comes.
Put your accent on, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My Rastafarian accent.
Yeah.
And I went to him what? I said, like, how's your mum? Yeah, I mean, his mum's name's Marcia. Actually, like, Marcia's a predominantly black name, you know. Right? But like, he said, like, yeah, his mum was great. And then he goes, I said to him, like, yeah. I said, how's your old man? Is he dead yet? His dad died. Nah, seriously.
wow.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So,
Mate, we need to bring him out of us because he likes
Your reactions.
He likes
You stand up the way you did for it.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say you did a Rastafarian accent to his dad.
I was like, oh no. Like,
That's the same
Yeah.
jokes that we do. That's so
That's
good.
fucking brilliant.
Just sink in a hole after
right,
that.
exactly. I was
man.
like,
Yeah.
Wait there. So what did you do after that? Did you go, fuck, I'm sorry? Or
nah, you know what?
Did you just...
No, you know what I did?
Did
No,
you
no.
commit to
You know
it?
what I did? I just stopped. I said, come here, man. I just gave him a big hug, man. I just gave him a big hug.
Because he knew you were coming from a joke.
But the thing about it is this, he found it very funny.
How
So, like,
recent?
How
How recent was it? Was it like
You know
Did he
what?
say
It
it
was
was
about. It was about. I don't know. It could have been like 6 months. Right,
hell.
but still. But you know what I mean. But it's one of them ones there. It was like, and especially like I should know better because, like, when my dad died, like a year after me and him became friends, and we was like really good mates. Like he'd take me to all these little golf clubs and all the rest of it. And we're still good friends. Up to this day, we're really good friends.
But you know what, Spencer? He might not have had a hug. That guy.
Yeah.
When you hugged him, he might have thought, "Fuck." Do you know what? No one's hugged me for a while. Everyone's been a bit.
No,
You never know. You never know.
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, he's a very, very good man. Very good man. But what I was going back to children is like the joy that you had when the first time you held your daughter.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable.
Right. What if I was to put a price range on that? How much would that cost?
It's priceless.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that's my case. So then money.
So
So that's what I'm trying to say to you. So money isn't everything.
Never moan
Yeah,
about
because you
money,
know what it
Jake.
is? It's a story you tell yourself, and the story sounds better.
not- yeah, but
Started from
Mate,
nothing. What does Drake say?
these-
Started from the bottom, now we're here. You know,
Yeah,
you start from
yeah,
nothing. It's
yeah.
a better story in your mind.
Yeah, you know it
Yeah, but he
is.
didn't say start from nothing. He said start from the bottom.
Yeah, starting from the bottom, right? But I'm trying to say to you, this starting from nothing thing. That I don't believe it.
All right, well, that was
That's
your
true.
words. I'm blaming
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
No,
not,
it's a
I'm not
good
rolling
thing.
with that. I'm not
I had a great
rolling with
Spence,
that.
if you could change something, what would you change? Like if you had a position in political power or something, I'm really interested in what you would do. What would be the first thing you do?
I'm not going to answer that.
What would you do?
I'm not going to answer it.
Because I think you tap into so many different areas.
I'm not going to answer that question, Matt.
Is it because you're going to be prime minister soon or something?
No,
You're
no,
gonna
no.
run for it.
I'm not. I'll tell you why I'm not going
Yeah.
to answer that question. Because, like,
Sorry, before you go into that, I've got to shoot because I've got a
Alright, it's
suitcase
fine.
and deliver.
So they're all
And
on
a
record,
bird
everyone.
to
yeah?
go and get.
to fucking drop her off to the airport.
Yeah?
It's a pleasure meeting you.
All right, brother. Take
care.
care. God
I
bless
hope
you.
it works
Good
out
luck.
right, mate.
All right.
All right.
See you guys soon.
See you soon.
Yeah, you're not going to answer that question.
No, because
I'm saying it as a compliment, by the way.
yeah, I know
it's
you
a
are.
compliment.
But I'm saying, like, what would I really want to change? The fact, like, this world hunger's bullshit, mate. Because they do have the food,
yeah.
right?
More people are overweight than are starving.
Exactly, right?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad,
That's a
isn't
fact.
it? Yeah, it's a fact.
More people are overweight. It's just the wasted food, like, and I'm not going to
That's
say
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Did you hear about the wasted food that happens in Parliament? How much food is wasted a year in Parliament? It's ridiculous. In Parliament itself.
Right.
So spare me on this. So what would I want to change? Yeah, of course I'd want to address this supposed trick of world hunger. You know what I mean? I'd want to address that because, like, I've noticed, like, when we're seeing world hunger, it affects everybody of every skin tone, of every tribe. It's affecting them. So that I'd want to change. But really and truly, what I'd really want to change is classism. I'd want to get rid of classism.
Define classism.
Well,
No, I know, but
It's
I want
like,
to hear.
yeah.
I want to hear Spencer's definition.
I would say that classism is deeming somebody beneath you when they're actually above you. That is the true
But by you
definition.
putting that above that person, then that's classism, right? So wouldn't you say that they're equal or no?
No, they're not. Because the mere fact that you're putting somebody down or you're looking down on somebody
Okay.
that's already above you.
Okay.
That's the only reason why they're
they're
above.
above you.
So
in-
and what would that be putting down? Are we talking about on the system, or are we talking about interpersonal, like person to person level?
In person to person, the system, the whole thing.
So
That
when-
is the thing that I'd want to
I remember
change.
watching like Kennedy give a speech, and somebody said, I've mentioned this before, but somebody said, "Aren't you a bit too old to run for president?" And he went, "Look, I do not hold it against my opponent, his youth and inexperience." And he was so kind and polite. And now you watch, say, Trump and Biden, and they're horrible.
Kennedy or Reagan?
I think it was Reagan was the. No, you're right. It was Reagan. I think it was Ronald Reagan. Yeah, but you see, like the people now, and they're just horrible to each other. These politicians. It's not a good role. It's not good for kids to look up to say, you know, taking the piss out of his wig or this or that. All the things about him aesthetically, and they're just being horrible to each other. Is that?
Well, that as well. You got to think. This thing of how the world is now, the world's horrible. You know?
Yeah.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
it is.
I
It is.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand the joy that I get when I close my door, and I'm around my kids. The joy that I get, like as I walk into the house, how my kids run in to hug me. Do you know what I mean?
I don't, but I can from you.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
It's one day I'll invite you guys around my home and like you can have dinner and that, right? And you'll see, just like I'm just loved by my children. You know what I mean? I am so loved by my children. Loved by my missus. Crazily. You know what I mean? Crazy. It's been so supportive, especially when my mum died. Like, so supportive. I kiss her feet. You know? But if I could get rid of classism.
Did you always want kids?
Yeah. Because I saw my dad, how he raised me. My mum, how she raised me. I like the thing of family. But you could want it so much, and then when you do get it, it's not very easy. It's difficult. It's hard, right? But kids are important. You know what I mean? Kids, seriously, they are so important. Especially for me, I'm saying kids to be raised with cultural heritage pride is a big thing to me. It's a massive thing to me. So to see my children like so proud of who they are, you know, it's like I remember my youngest daughter, she's 4, and she was saying because she loves Frozen, and she was saying like, you know what I mean, she wanted to be white because one of the main characters in Frozen had this really long flowing hair and that, but so she wanted to be that character. And me at, I don't know, 25, I'd have been pissed off, mate. I'd have smashed my house to bits, right? But me just like, you're a child and you're innocent, right? But that's not going to grow into you because you're going to find out about your real heritage, right? They come from us, right? But I'm trying to say to you, so like, just having that moment there with my daughter, and it's like, it was her sister that grassed her up, like, her sister Tyler's 6, Rhea's 4. So Tyler runs and she goes, Rhea says that she wants to be white, Daddy. She wants to be white. Like, no, we don't want to be white. We're happy who we are. We're proud of our own skin. I said, you know what? I ain't failed. Come here. I love you to bits. No, kids are amazing because kids don't see color. Trust me. It's the parents' insecurities that see color.
Yeah.
Children do not see color. I remember the first time my daughter came home from school and she described someone in her class and she never ever mentioned her color. She said, there's Becky in our class. I hear Becky, I know it's white straight away. But I said, like, Becky in my class and she describes her hair texture. You know what I mean? She would describe like her stature. She described all those kind of things. She wouldn't describe like whether she's black or white. And I said, wow. Just imagine like if everybody was like that.
Yeah.
We're having it. We're not about. But then at the same time, as you get older now, I'm saying like, well, if you were to not say that, oh well, I hate when people turn around and say, oh, I don't see color. You're lying. Of course you see color. Yeah. You're meant to see color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because you two are both white, but you're different pigmentations of white. Yeah. Do you realize that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're more like, you look like a workman kind of white. You look like I'm going on holiday next week. I'm going to Malta, right? You got that kind of, the sun's caught you a little piece. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Right. When people turn around and say, I do not see color, that means that you're not seeing who I am.
Yeah. You'll probably make me rethink this story, but my uncle is black and he had this thing on his wall when I was a kid. I used to walk in and it said, when white people are sick, they're red. When they're sunburnt, they're pink. And it said when a black person's sunburnt, they're black. Well, and it said like they stay the same colour. Then it said at the bottom, you have the cheek to call us coloured.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my uncle put on his wall. And I always remember going in and reading it, yeah.
Well, the thing about it is this, it's like, the world's changing, man.
It is, yeah.
And I'm grateful that I've said certain things that has riled certain people out the wrong way. But you see, to my community, they're like, come here, we love you, man.
Yeah.
They ain't nothing better than that. I don't think there is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Nothing. So you can get into position and all the rest of it, and you get in your position, but you say, then what are you, if you're not in a position to empower other people, then you shouldn't be in that position. I hate people getting in positions, but they don't throughball somebody else. So what they end up doing, they're actually short-circuiting the powers of the universe. They're short-circuiting it. You're meant to get something. You are meant to pass it on. Because when you pass it on, it builds up interest. And when it builds up interest, it builds up momentum. So it's like a snowball.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a big believer in what goes around comes around. You know what I mean? And we use it in bad, like, yeah, what goes around comes around. Watch what's going to happen to him. No. It's a good thing as well.
Yeah.
What goes around comes around. We believe that God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, when it pays back, and it's your time to collect, it pays back in interest. And you actually do reap what you sow. So if you don't sow nothing, you ain't going to reap shit. You go out there, you go dig and you put your seeds out and everything else, then you have to, there'll be a harvest. And that's, there'll be a harvest.
It's interesting because you said about like it's nice when you shut the door, and I can imagine that. And I didn't grow up with a dad, and the first thing you said was because you saw your dad. So because I haven't had that example, it's never pushed me to want to have children. But on the next sort of subject is,
But you'd be a good dad, I think.
I think I would be. Yeah.
Yeah, but why you're saying like because you didn't grow up with your dad?
Yeah.
Or did he die?
He went to prison when I was like 6 months, and then I never ever saw him ever. And then
You've never seen your dad?
Never seen him. I've seen him twice, but he wouldn't accept that I was his son. He had another family. He was not a good dude, if I'm honest. He wasn't a good dude.
So wouldn't you want to say like, because you're a millionaire now, wouldn't you like to say, look, Dad, you see what we missed that one?
He knows. He knew, and he had another family, and he just ignored that we existed. And he did die like 2 years ago, and I phoned him up.
Sorry to hear that.
Thanks, mate. But it was not a loss for me. But I rang him.
It's still your dad.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say to you? See, like, how can you put it? Now I'm speaking from a position of I'm raising a child that is not biologically mine.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, you kind of get second chances. Because like when I was younger, when I was boxing, I was with this absolutely aesthetically beautiful girl called Nikki, and she had a kid. And she had a kid, and me and her together for about 9 years, 10 years. And so that kid, he became my son. So who's this little boy? Little boy was my son. Right, Dad. And we broke up, but I didn't really treat her really well. I mean, I'm a lad, I'm young, shagging everything that moves.
Yeah.
I mean, let this table move 1 inch, you see what's going on, right? We're on it. Like, that's how I was. I was really...
How old are you?
I was really bad.
How old are you then?
That was last week. No, I'm saying... No. Then I was, 28, 29, 30, and then it just went tits, right? And yeah, it probably went tits. Being a dad, it does it. It gives you a level of responsibility, and it also gives you a level of joy, a different level of joy, that you can't really, I can't encapsulate into anything, but it's just that it's a mad sense of pride. It's a mad sense of like, you are that teacher, you are that child's teacher, and they will repeat the stuff that you see badly. Like, my dad got married to my mum. My mum had a child prior to my dad getting with her. My dad raised my sister as his own. I haven't got a half sister. My sister Elaine is doing really well for herself. She got MB recently as well. That's my sister, right? But because my dad did it, then I'm like, well, then it's nothing to go. There's an old saying in Jamaica, like, if you take the cow, you take the calf. So to me, those things ain't nothing to me. It's like, it don't mean nothing to me. I know other guys, they got kind of hang-ups over those kind of things, but I'm not that guy. I haven't got that.
So with that, like you were saying, like, you shut the door because it is like madness outside. All right, the stuff we were talking about, but I read there was 5 stabbings in London this weekend, 4 last weekend. I don't think there was one at Notting Hill, but they were saying relatively compared to other areas, it wasn't a lot. Or
Someone died in Notting Hill.
Yeah, someone died. One person.
Was he a rapper as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was a rapper. Yeah. Some Nimbard, his name was. So
19 or something.
Yeah, 19 years old. So I know his family. Yeah, so straight away I rang I think it's his cousin, Nina, but she weren't picking up for obvious reasons. But yeah, I know the kid's family, the kid that died.
Really?
Yeah. And you was going to say, so there's been these stabbings.
There's been a lot, yeah. So is that part of it? Because it just felt, I keep on seeing this stuff, and it's obviously because of social media opens a lot of access to people, but I keep seeing people driving in a nice car. Someone's on a Deliveroo bike. They've got a hammer. They're smashing the windows in.
Bruv.
It's gone to another
But
level.
is that social media, or is the world getting worse?
So I've seen 3 people that have been clubbed in the head. One with a cricket bat, one with a golf club for their watch, and there was a.
Is your head hurting now? Is it still hurting?
No, my head. No. No, but there was a kid on Fulham. Nice area on the park. I can't remember what it's called. And he had a watch on. It was a Casio watch. It was 100 quid, and they hit him with a bat. He's got mental issues now.
He's gonna be. Yeah, of course you are. You get hit on the head with a baseball bat.
100 quid. We're not talking about like 100 grand or 40 grand, £100 watch.
Yeah, but they don't. Obviously, the perpetrators of that the atrocity didn't know the value of that watch. They must have seen it. It must have looked kind of nice.
Yeah.
But like,
what is that then? Is that the world getting worse, or social media just going like?
No, it's not social media.
No?
Right, number one is this. Let's go deal with this side, right? Statistics for Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah.
Right? They had what? 1.5 million people a day. Yeah?
They had
a day.
a million more than they had last year. So I think it was more than 1.5 million. Yeah.
All right. So over the 2 days, they had 3 million people, I think, or something like that. Yeah?
That's crazy.
So let's go look on the other things at Leeds Festival. How many people died there? How many people OD'd out there? How many people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go look on the other things that went on.
Yeah.
Right, there's been so many things that's gone on, but they go underneath the radar.
Yeah.
So
I'm
why are you
with you
trying
on
to,
that,
right.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about, but there was a stabbing at Carnival. I'm going to be real with you. It's Carnival. Shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
Young kids just don't know how to, do you know what I'm trying to say to you? They need to just chill.
Yeah.
I'm 2
Going
years.
there in gangs and shit. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But the gangs, the part of the gangs is also from a form of insecurity, but it's another thing for another story. Another day for another story, and I'm like going to that. But I can't, because the world's getting so bad and all the rest of it. I know a man, very well, it's a guy called Patrick. I ain't seen him in a hot minute, and I'm doing my shopping in Waitrose, and he walks in Waitrose, and he just looked distraught. And I said, bro, what's the matter? Yeah, no, really distraught. I said, what's the matter? He said, they just murdered my son. Right? I said, what are you talking about? He said, they stabbed my son in Croydon. My son got stabbed to death. And he was just dead to the world. Right? So, as much as I'm saying, like, anything can happen anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But of this self-hatred, and it is a self-hatred. It's a self-hatred where you could think to yourself that I would want to go and take a knife and plow it into someone. Tyson Fury's cousin just got murdered. Right? So now we know that this is not like a black or white thing.
Yeah, it's just...
Right? This is like, it's a youth cultural thing. Right? And culture hasn't got color. Culture is just culture to what you assimilate to. You know what I mean? The music you listen to, the foods that you eat. You know what I mean? The what you find in your mindset as aesthetically beautiful, the things that you need that you gotta go for. You think like, the cars and the chains and and all the rest of that bullshit. Right? So when you were seeing young people killing themselves, I could speak heavily on like for like on in the black community. And I'm saying like, if these young men, it's not my words, these are the words of a great man called Marcus Garvey, if you only knew from the greatness of where you came from, you'd be less inclined to disrespect yourself. If these young kids, and I think this is applied to most of the young kids, if they knew of the greatness and the potential which they're coming from, what they're going to, they'll be less inclined for this disrespect. It's disgusting. And
violence.
Yeah, and it's disgusting. And it's also cowardly. Do you know what I mean? Now, you went to a boxing gym, you was doing your bits and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? You're a big guy. You know, being disciplined enough to get up and go to the gym.
So how do you do this? Because the words you're speaking sound to me like what people need to hear. So how do you instill this in these guys that are going out and doing this?
You don't instill it into those guys that are going out and doing it. It's not them. Because it's the whole culture that is actually run on fear. Why'd you carry a knife? I'll carry a knife because, boy, a guy from different ends from me, he might have a knife. Yeah. So therefore, I need my knife for protection. Right? I saw a fight outside my barbershop. There was a fight outside my barbershop, and this lady hit this boy and they was fighting. School kid. There's a school kid, takes out a knife and starts stabbing. This is all on camera. All on, like, everyone's got their phone out. So I say, everyone's got their phone out, but no one went rushing to stop the youth from stabbing. And I'm saying, well, you don't really rush in. The guy's got a knife in his hand. Yeah. Right. But somebody must have knew him. These cowardly acts, yeah, it's because kids aren't focused on the end goal. They're not focused on it. You know what I mean? They're not focused on the end goal. And even more importantly, it's like, someone always say to me, like, happiness is not a destination, but it's a journey.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a happiness on every part of the way. Yeah. Right? So if these kids knew just of their greatness of where they came from, the just of the greatness, or even the fact of appreciating life, like I was saying to our guy Jay before he left out, what joy did you have when you had your child? How much, what price would you put on it? They say, it's priceless. Priceless. That's not a rare diamond then. Priceless. So life within itself is priceless. So every single person that you're encountering, they're not just millionaires or billionaires or trillionaires. Their money that they have or that thing of life, it's infinity. Because what I realized, my mom passing the other day, you're going to be dead longer than you are alive. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So the real life is death. Yeah. That's the real life. So it's the appreciation. And don't think, oh, you live, get to a certain age, and then that's it, you're gone. No. It's never what you leave to someone, but it's what you leave inside of them. What you leave inside of them. That gives you eternal life. Your children's eternal life. You don't stop that bloodline.
That is reincarnation, yeah.
Of course it is. Your children are reincarnation. Yeah. And it's not maybe not even the children that are your biological to, but how you touch people in their heart.
Yeah.
You go touch someone in their heart. Or someone turn around and remembers a quote of yours and they say, my guy said, Yeah. You don't die then. Yeah. Because you only die when you're forgotten. That's when you're dead.
That's true. Very true.
Right?
Yeah. Because you think about it in your own soul and your own physicality, but it's not. It's a lot more than that. You're going to live on in a million other ways.
Exactly. So, and this is where I know, like, if our young children just realize just how brilliant they were, and to become respecters of life. But then I've seen a lot of things that are broken down. When I was a kid, we had youth clubs, right? Yeah. They were amazing youth clubs. I remember I was at the VNC, right?
Play table tennis, play
everything.
snooker,
table tennis, you know what I mean?
Break dancing.
Come on, man. We had all of that. Then we'd have like competition with other clubs.
Yeah, where is that now?
And the thing about it is this, the competition that you had with the other clubs, it was never a physical thing.
Yeah, it was healthy.
Yeah, it was never like, we're going to kick off and like, we're going to fight you. Because those things broke down. Though we'd go like, I had a fantastic childhood, you know. We'd leave from our area in South London in a minivan and we'd go to a youth club up in North London. But what that did is just broke down barriers. Because like, as you got older now, you'd end up seeing that same person in a rave. You say, rah, my man from... And it was cool.
Yeah.
Government stopped those things, right?
Yeah. Did they?
Of course they did. They stopped the youth club, playing for the youth clubs and all the rest of it. So when those things got stopped, the youth centres, I'm not saying that things still didn't happen.
That's a tangible thing to fix.
But when those things got stopped, that's when all of this kind of... Because there was no more affinity. Yeah. There was no more like, okay. They weren't that. Youth clubs, we'd have a football team. You're playing the next team from over in West London, next team over in East London, Yeah, there's gonna be rivalry. You're gonna be upset that you lost and blah blah and all the rest of it. But then at the end of the day, we was always taught like from like the people that ran it, like, go over there, shake their hand, right? And these things also came in from boxing. From boxing, like there's guys who will be my friends from the amateurs who are gonna be friends with me until we die. Do you know what I mean? From the amateurs. This is like when I was 13 years old, right? Who they would just they would just your guys. There were other guys from other clubs, but there's that affinity of respect. Yeah. But when we break down these things and we take away these things, then what is it? So it's like, now not only are you're my rival, but you're not only my rival, now you're my enemy.
Yeah.
Right? Before we were just rivals, but we'd be cool. Now respect as you get older as well. Your kids know my kids. Right, my dad used to go to the same boxing club as you. It's fun. It's a universal thing.
Yeah.
But when we've taken that away,
All right, that's a tangible thing because my friend Luke, he set up a charity like 15 years ago called Fight for Peace. I don't know if you've heard of it, but he gets kids off the streets to box.
I know Fight for Peace because I went to one of their dues. It was a few years ago. They had a boxing event. I'll tell you who was on the head table. Glenn McCory.
I'll introduce you to him. We'll get him on.
Yeah, Glenn McCory was on it. There was quite a few people. I remember.
Yeah,
a few years ago.
Yeah, so he's a good friend of mine, Luke. But he set it up, and he's just good intentions. Just one of those guys. Do you know what I mean? So that's the sort of thing we need to see. And also these youth clubs, like that's a tangible thing that you can say, okay, let's have a look and see. Obviously, it needs government money, right? Because there's a million conversations we can have about that and where that's going.
The problem with that is people are living on their phones now. It's
no, but let's see. That's the whole thing. But you're saying, well, that's the problem that people live on their phones. Right?
It's one of the problems.
One of the problems. But the thing about it is this, that can also be taken away. Because when you're in the youth club and you're doing activities, right? It changes. I feel like, especially like to young kids, I've seen like the importance of reading. Seriously, the importance of reading.
So important.
Right? Readers are leaders. I'm telling you this now. But young kids ain't reading no more. They ain't picking up no books no more. No. And because it seems like a challenge, like, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
There is power in reading a book. You open up a book. This is how you get acquired knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You open up a book, it actually resembles a bird. What do birds do? Birds fly. Do you know what I mean? So your mental state of awareness is so heightened when you start reading because you actually fall in love with the literature, you fall in love with what you're reading. You could be reading some garbage, but you got to read like certain books that you're picking up when you're reading, and you fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So like when you say like we're engrossed in our phones, we are, because even I'm engrossed in my phone, right? I am. Every minute I'm seeing what's going on. I want to know the latest what's going on in boxing. I want to know, right? So we are. That is just the trick. But then sometimes you got to bring it back to the root. And bringing it back to the root is bringing it back to that real cerebralness of learning. And what is the best way to learn? When you really love something, it don't seem like you're. You know what I mean? It don't.
Yeah. And
Readers are leaders. I love that.
Yeah, I love it. Man, there's some really inspirational words there, man. Like I could do everything that is so fucking awesome. And like I love young kids to hear this. And like the thing I do with the phone, everyone says it's like a bad thing, but I'm at least 3 times as smart as I would be if I didn't have a phone because I use the phone for the right reasons most of the time. I'm reading a white paper, I'm reading Kindle, or I'm on Audible, and they're normally books that are helping me.
And no one's not going to argue with you. You know why? They're not going to argue with you. Because you're a millionaire. So they're not going to say, shut up. What do you know, you tart? They're not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? No one's going to say, he's talking bullshit. Right now, they're not. They're going to say, right, this guy's, he's talking the truth.
He says that about people. He says about people when you're training with people, you said you want to take advice from people that actually look like they're in good shape rather than people that are just, not in good shape.
Yeah, well, I'm an autodidact, so I've taught myself everything. Like left school early, learned how to code when I was 11, and I did it all from reading books. And it wasn't anything I was naturally.
Sorry, can you explain what is this coding thing? Because I'm a bit of a dinosaur.
Yeah, of course.
Explain to me what coding. Because you know why? Because like on YouTube, it keeps coming up. Like I've got the same account as my son, so I watch everything that he does.
So you see it.
You got to keep your eye on these little bastards, right? Like.
Can I get water, Alina? Sorry, is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm like, and he keeps saying, right. Teach your child how to code.
Yeah.
I say, teach your child how to code. I don't know how to code.
Yeah.
So you're talking, please explain to me what coding is.
Okay, so I bought a book and it was called Sam's How to Teach Yourself How to Code in 30 Days. Now, there's lots of languages, just the same as there's lots of languages that we speak, right? But and every language does something slightly different. But you can learn how to code web pages, for example. And you've got to tell a microchip how to do something with what's called like a syntax. And you've got to so this microchip is the hardware in the computer, right? And that sits there, and it sits in a computer, and it's ready to be programmed. You then write your code to make it do anything. So the most simplest thing would be line 1, print, double quotes, hello Spencer, double quotes. And then line 2, go to line 1, right? So that's almost in English, right?
Right.
If I then press run, it would say hello Spencer, hello Spencer, hello Spencer on a screen. That's in its most sort of, it does go more basic than that. But I can then print it and say, like, if you go to a web page, and I wanted to ask you about your meta visionaries, but like say you go to a web page.
I've been doing research, yeah?
A little bit. And you go to a web page, someone's coded, the back from the most simplest thing, the background color, the font, the text, All of that's been coded to work in Chrome, to work in Internet Explorer, and that's all code. So
it's just writing in English.
just writing it. Well, it's not English.
And then running it.
Yeah, so you've got Basic, you've got Visual Basic, you've got .NET, you've got like hundreds of different languages, right? But you can literally get a notepad on your phone, right? For some that don't need to be compiled, you can get Notepad or what you can even write it in Word on your thing, and you can write the code, and then you can basically save it.
In the basic form, for no one that knows what it is, especially me and Spencer, it's writing the computer the chip or the computer what to do.
Yeah. So anything you see comes from code. Even that boxing machine, when it says you hit it, there's a pressure sensor, and it says however hard I'm hit, tell the code to show these LEDs on the screen the number. So coding gives you everything has been coded. Your phone, there's an operating system, iOS. That's the most basic, and then it goes
Watch or not?
Watch runs off of what's called a quartz crystal, and it oscillates up and down at like 10 to the 16 times a second, and then it can be completely mechanical.
Right.
A digital watch will use some lines of code to display, but then to the most complicated, you've got artificial intelligence, which is in my opinion what is like the most complex version of code, which is like building neural networks and building like real complicated stuff. But you start off with a basic, and it's called basic. So you could show your son or your daughter, whoever's interested, to learn, and there's loads of courses online. And if they've got a natural inkling, which I don't think I did, I just loved it. I just love being in front of a computer screen. You can either be really good or you can just push like I did and problem solve. And it's basically just trial and error. Keep on trying all these lines, and I would just sit there for days and days until I could get it to upload a database or I built e-commerce websites when I was sort of 30. So yeah, anything like that. And now it's probably more you'd want to learn. If I was going to teach someone to code, I would say learn how to code smart contracts, which is like the back end of Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies, because then you can say, right, I want to build my own cryptocurrency, and you can launch it.
And you've done that, have you?
I've done it, yeah.
You built your own cryptocurrency?
I have. I've got my own crypto called Movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called
MovieCoin, yeah.
MovieCoin, and the website's moviecoin.com. So we built our own.
Right. We'll just put this down.
And yeah, so that's like, so if I had kids, I would teach them how to code smart contracts.
That's why you need to have kids.
It's not actually as difficult as you would think. I actually don't think it's that tricky.
But you'll have guys, if you're doing that metaverse stuff, you'll have guys that would have done all that as well.
Yeah, but the thing about most of the guys who I work with, they're all in Doha and Qatar and
India.
But the thing with Meta Visionaries, the guys that put it together, they're actually from Oxford. And I flew around the world with these guys. I went to Pakistan, went to Bosnia and Herzegovina. I went to quite a few places with these guys. As Spence, could you get involved with this? And it was nothing to do with Meta Visionaries. Meta Visionaries is something that came after it.
Okay.
They were like, Spence, you can really talk, So we need a guy like you, and you got a name, so you want to get involved. And yeah, fair play. This guy Wasim Ahmed said, yeah, boy, send me a contract, we'll see what it's worth. And in fair play to him, he did. And yeah, I've had great fun with that.
And what is it like? If we've got time, what is it? What does it actually do? Because I don't know anything about it.
The Meta Vision is actually like you've got a metaverse.
It's one of your companies you're doing.
Yeah. Right. So I'm head of sports and entertainment. So what Meta Visionaries are actually doing, they've teamed up with Jim Green, who was one of the head scientists for NASA, who's now their head scientist, and they're bringing things to the metaverse, which is all for education, where we can link children from all around the world, or young adults all around the world, young people all around the world, so they can all link up and they can all learn together. So we've got some really exciting things. We're doing something with NASA right now, and we're kicking a ball from the space station up from.
Is this all in VR, in the metaverse?
We're actually doing it.
Oh, okay.
Actually doing it.
Wow,
It's being kicked from there, and it's going to land in the World Cup. So it's it's going to land there. Yeah. So we're getting quite a few people on board for that. Hopefully by the end of this week we'll have some big footballing names, legendary names to be on it with us as well. So it's been great. Johnny Nelson's involved in it as well. He's one of our brand ambassadors. Course, we've got quite a few. We've got loads of people from music inside of it as well who are helping us and pushing things. So it's like it's a really, really cool time for me because my dad always say, you got harder than everybody else, and I just realised that you just got to work smarter than everyone.
Smart, yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
this hard work, it don't work. You just got to work smart.
You can work. There's a thing you can work smart for. I think the smartest you can work is even per day is like you work 4 hours a day you can work more than.
I'm in the middle of that one. I know I'm wary of time for your time, Spencer, because I want to
No,
ask you
bro,
something.
it's cool, man.
Sure, all right.
But we're blessed.
All right, thank you, mate. Yeah, but I'm in two minds on this working smart, because I remember I was working stupid hours, 20 hours a day, and I read Tim Ferriss's book on the 4-hour work week, and it said, just work smart. And I definitely think, working smart. But I don't know one guy that I can think of that is, okay, killing
they
it.
all work hard.
Yeah, they're working in, do you know who I love? Do you know Steve Harvey?
Yeah,
I
comedian.
love but he's a talk show host and he says like the most inspirational stuff.
He stole enough of my shit. I'm going to be real with you.
Really?
I swear for God, right?
I think he's like the best man on the internet. I love him.
Right, let me tell you this.
Him and Jordan Peterson.
Right, let me tell you. You know Les Brown, the motivational speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Les Brown. So I've been blessed to be mentored by Les Brown.
Okay.
And maybe it's just great mind. So I'm looking right, but he says something about you're driving a car. So I went to go see. I was hired to be I don't know, like a get up and go kind of person. I'm like a motivator to a billionaire. Because he said, I like all your clothes, Spence. Would you want to come over? And they were out in Bali. Would you want to come over and just be with me? And like, you know what I mean? Because I'm that kind of guy. Come on, we could do it. You know what I mean? Even like when I was managing fighters, I'll convince you that you're going to win a fight. You may not. I'll convince you to run through that wall. You may not go for it, but you're going to do your best to run through it. So he's like, yeah, I want you around. So I'm really cool. It's like, they pay me mad money a week. And I had a quote, like he said, the first thing he said, like, yeah, I've done some things in my time and like I've done some bad things as well. And I said, well, this said, when you're driving your car, you're concentrating, you've got two pieces of glass in front of you. You've got a rear view mirror and you've got the windscreen. You focus on the rear view mirror, that's your past. Try to drive your car. You will crash, you will die.
Yeah.
Right? You will.
Yeah.
You concentrate solely on what's in ahead of you.
Yeah.
And you'll drive your car.
Yeah.
Then, about 2 years later, I see Steve Harvey say the same thing. And I said, that's mad. That's mad. You either heard it and stole my shit, but then also there's a guy, Brother Ben X, who's really massive on Instagram. He said the same thing. But I said, maybe it's just great minds. You know what I mean? And it is, but that adjective is like, yeah, you're driving your car, what do you focus on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We
So
spoke
like-
about it, didn't we? Because if you don't want to be
you
stuck
say
in a bus.
Steve Harvey, he's bad. He's bad.
Yeah.
He's incredibly good.
Yeah. I think he's a good role model. What he says and what he speaks about, and like trying to push everybody.
You look good for your age, you know.
Thank you, mate.
Seriously,
Thank
I'm gonna be real. You know, white people don't age too good. I'm gonna be real. They don't. You know,
Yeah.
everyone tells you, well, black don't crack. It's the truth, but
it's true. Yeah.
No, it's true.
I know lots of them that sell it. But I'm trying to say to you, I can say that you can't. It's
Thank
just-
you.
Right, but
I don't know.
saying
How old are you?
I'm 50 next year, mate.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 50.
You look great, man.
That's so bad.
Yeah, I know it is. You just feel.
I'm the youngest, I look the oldest.
Yeah, you got no lines. Even Julius had no lines the other day on his. I was looking at his skin there. He's got no lines. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, Botox.
Yeah, Julius lives on Botox.
I was going to be like,
That's why he lost his hair. No, joking.
we need to get some Botox.
I've known Julius Francis. I mean, a little kid, you know. I've known Julius Francis.
It's great.
Yeah, he used to be at BK Movers. That was a boxing club that he came out of, and I was at the Lynn. But Julius was older than me. But I remember when he turned professional and he was following his journey. I remember like first time seeing Julius on TV was a big thing for me. They used to do a lot of sparring with one of my friends at the time, Danny Williams, and I used to watch them. And then they actually fought as professionals twice. So yeah,
what do you think of this? I don't call it influencer YouTube boxing.
I think it's good.
You think it's good? Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good as well.
I love how because the way I see it, right. When we spoke about doing a podcast ages ago, there was like 100,000 podcasts. Now there's 2.5 million podcasts, right? So everyone thought it was too late a few years ago to start one. And now you're like, okay, with there's 3 million now, there's probably going to be 20 million in 10 years. YouTube's probably going to, everything in that line is growing bigger. More people watch Joe Rogan than watch people on terrestrial TV. So if everything's going that way, and I know not every boxer likes it, it seems to me like if you've got people that are going to dedicate themselves like Jake Paul, it's just going to go bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, the thing about it is this is my thing. If it is bringing eyeballs to a sport that I love emphatically, you say, it's Joe boxing and all the rest of it, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? And they can talk some real, like, what it is, they've taken elements from, not UFC, they've taken elements from WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
the media and the spectacle.
Yeah, and
the entertainment.
And they've merged this with professional boxing.
Yeah.
With Jake Paul and, what's his brother's name?
Logan
Paul.
And you know, just on that what that only came along every 10, 20 years in boxing. Mike Tyson had that, had that moment.
Yeah,
okay, great. And then it drops. And then you have another moment, it drops. But this is...
But what these guys are doing, look at KSI's fought the other day. Roadblock. A roadblock. It's only because I had all my family around, but I didn't go. Right?
He sold out the O2.
You saw it at the O2, and everybody was there. Every name rapper, everyone was down there. You know what I mean? All of pro fighters. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul was there himself.
Logan Paul was there, yeah.
Right. So I'm not knocking it because he's bringing eyeballs to the sport, right? But don't get confused. I think this is real boxing, right? Don't be confused and say, oh, well, I want to go in with a real professional fighter and see, because you'll get badly hurt, right? I'm just right. So it's a great spectacle right now until something goes wrong.
It's levels.
Right? There's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is with Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, because they're quite wealthy guys, they can get the best training.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And all you got to be is dedicated to something. Over 14 days, you're going to start to see the results.
Exactly.
Listen.
Is that true? 14 days?
14 days. Right? You know, psychologically, 14 days. You know what I mean? You want to reprogram yourself at anything?
Do it for 14 days.
No, it's 21 days. You know what I mean?
Right,
21 days. You want
Atomic Habits, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, obviously you're going to know. Right, you want to reprogram yourself, right? It takes 21 days.
Yeah, neuroplasticity of the brain changes after about 21 days.
Exactly. Yeah. And then your neural sensors completely change.
Yeah.
Once you reprogram yourself, and it's not easy. It was like every morning I get up. As I get up, I say my prayers, then I go and I read for 45 minutes. Then my day starts. But I'm up early. I'm up like 4:30. Right? But religiously, this is what I do. So because I do that, it gives me a head start over everybody else. But it just beautifies my day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Beautifies my day much like I'm like, for the people who you connect with or the people that you draw into your life and death's in the tongue, right? But I'm such a firm believer of what you think about, you bring about. You know what I mean? And what you worry, you marry. Right?
That's true. What you worry, you marry, yeah.
Right. That is it. What you worry about, that's you. That's your thing. That's your girl.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's your partner. Right? So it's the elimination of worry. It's not easy to do. Right? But once I started to figure out, right, I'm just going to eliminate worrying about stuff. You know what I mean? Affirmations are strong things. You know what I mean? Affirmations are like, talking about Steve Harvey, affirmations are so, and you have to make those affirmations in your life. And once you made those affirmations in your life, then you've got to start to walk in that direction of it.
It's interesting because worry is different to fear, right? So, and I really like that. I've not heard that before. I hear eliminate fear, which is hard. But eliminating worry is good because worry is what causes stress. Yeah. So eliminating worry is the one. And you're doing that mainly by affirmations. Mainly by
telling yourself how beautiful you are. Mainly by telling yourself how great you are.
Self-love.
Mainly by telling you how rich you are. You know what I mean? It's like the concept of having the things. Listen, like, before you became a millionaire, you had a millionaire mindset, right?
100%.
Before you became...
Yeah. There's no doubt,
right?
That I'd not be successful.
I was supposed to Andy Joshua this Monday, right? So he must have just landed back, and then I get a phone call in the early hours of the morning. I'm saying, "Bruh, it's a bit early for you." So I get a phone call, and it's Andy Joshua, 7 o'clock in the morning, and me and Andy Joshua were talking, and I said, "Bro, you've already won." But it goes on, but I lost and I let down so many people. I said, "What are you talking about? You let down everything? Have you now live a better standard of life? You can look after." I said, "Do you look after your mother?" He said, "Yes." "Have you given your sister a different kind of lifestyle?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Is your son looked after?" He said, "Yes." I said, "What are you worrying about?" He goes, "But if it's just about getting the money, then we think it's about what are you worrying about?" I want to be undisputed champion. I feel like I've let down the past greats. I feel like I let down Mike Tyson. I feel like I let down Lennox Lewis. I'm kind of shocked because he called Lennox Lewis a clown in the past, but so I feel like I let down Lennox Lewis. He went for it. So I feel like I let down these guys.
Yeah.
But I said, "Bro, carry on worrying about it and it'll kill you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Yeah, carry on worrying about it.
I want to replay that. That's right? Fucking great.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Like, I don't want people to realize this now, right? What they say that we have, how many, we got 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds of a day, right? That's what they say, right?
Why 56 minutes and 4 seconds?
You have to ask the scientists that came up with that's how much time we've got, that the Earth moves on its complete axis, yeah?
Yeah, it's 364 and a quarter, not 365 days. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right? So, in that time span, I'll say to any of you, I mean, Jay, Matt, create one more second in that day, you can't do it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so do you know how blessed you are to say that you've actually experienced that day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know how grateful I am to be with you guys right now? You know what I mean? Grateful for the simple fact that the energy's right.
Yeah.
Right? So, what is it? The more gratitude that you express is the more abundance that you experience.
Right.
Right? So when you say that, okay, then, well, I'm living abundantly means like you've got more than enough.
Yeah, the mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the mindset to say, right.
Yeah.
So this, you worry, you marry, it's serious.
I love that. And also on that, like if you, like from a scientific perspective, that's really helped me in my mind what you just said. But from a scientific perspective, I think every time like sperm goes, you know, into the egg, there's like 4 billion, right? So it's like I'm going to get the numbers wrong. A 1 in 4 billion chance. There's 100 billion galaxies, right? We don't know that life exists on any of them. When you start whittling all
But
the
they do.
Yeah, of course. they do.
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
They do.
Okay,
They really
okay,
do. Yeah,
okay.
they do.
But all right, we're not in our universe, not in the Milky Way. There's nothing in our galaxy or Andromeda nearby. They don't see anything. But if you look at all those numbers and whittle everything down, the chances of you being here right now are like infinitesimally small, like so many zeros on the end.
Bruv, now you're talking my language. Let me tell you this,
Yeah.
right? Let me tell you this, right?
That's so true.
You have more chance of winning the lottery at its smallest point of that sperm meeting the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
At its smallest time, like 15 times over. Right? It's like to win the lottery is like one in 14 million.
Something like that.
It's
Yeah.
mad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Right. So imagine like so what's that telling you? The numbers in itself, you know what I mean? And numerology is God's coding. Right? The chances of you being born, you, right now, you being who you are, me being who I am, the chances of me being born, like, it's just a crazy ratio.
Yeah.
Even more so, like, my mom and dad tried for 13 years before I was born.
Right.
Right? Yeah, seriously, my dad thought, shit, I must be barren. No,
Barren, that's- I was trying to think of the word, yeah.
I must be barren. No, right? So, you being born, you're the real win. But we've reversed it to put everything on the material.
Yeah.
But the material is like, where does material come from? Everything that we see, this table,
Always
this
a fault.
microphone, everything came from someone's where?
Yeah.
Came from someone's thought pattern.
everything.
Right? And I'm not, what does it say in scripture? Jesus said, like, as a man thinketh, then so is he. You know what I mean? It's your fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it says in scripture, and I'm not Christian, but I like to roll with the scripture right now.
Yeah.
Right? But it says in scripture that the kingdom of God is inside every man.
Yeah.
Right? We'd have to change it now, but every female as well, right? The kingdom. You are a king. Your dome is the kingdom.
Yeah.
Your thinking is the kingdom. Yeah. Your thinking defines whether you are a king, you're a queen, whether you're a prince, whether you're a pauper, you're thinking. Nothing more than that.
Yeah. We
Right?
are our minds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's his name? Chris Blackwell, the guy who from Island Records who had Bob Marley. What's Chris Blackwell? He's very famous. Right, Chris Blackwell, right?
Terrible names.
Chris Blackwell said, like, when he met,
I only know that because I saw the play recently.
right, the Wailers, right? When he met the Wailers, right? It wasn't Bob Marley and the Wailers, they were just the Wailers. He said they walked into his office and they walked in like they were superstars.
Yeah.
They were nobodies.
Yeah.
They
It's
walked,
funny we mentioned something like this.
right? They walked in with that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they walked in.
Yeah.
And it was like, he was like,
In the play, they even made a joke about that. They're like,
Oh,
we're the
did they?
biggest thing in Jamaica, like that. And they were
Yeah.
just like, you know, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But they were. But
Yeah.
if you think how tiny Jamaica is, it's
Yeah.
like from one end to the other, it's like 150 miles, right? That's a very small place,
yeah,
right? That's like from here to Birmingham.
yeah.
So it was the fact, like they were proclaiming who they were going to eventually be to the world. They were already it inside their hearts. So I see this with loads of people that were already it inside their hearts. Muhammad Ali's a great one. I am the greatest. He didn't believe he was the greatest then. Do you know what I mean?
He said that as well. He said, "There's no way I believed I was the greatest."
Right, exactly. But he made that affirmation so much until he became the greatest.
Yeah.
Right? I remember when Floyd Mayweather came out with TBE, right? The best ever. And I'm like, yeah, brother. But now, people are actually saying Floyd Mayweather's the greatest fighter of all times.
Yeah, pound
right?
for pound, yeah.
Pound for pound, greatest. Right. Yeah, but that was the fact of him making that affirmation, right? Till the whole rest of the world caught up and he caught up himself.
Yeah.
And that's the powers. So like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what's it? Dave Allen, he's got some audios on YouTube, The Power of I Am. And I gave...
The fire?
No. And I gave... No, not the fire. Right? And it's not the comedian either, because there's right. But and I would say to everyone, like, go and listen to The Power of I Am.
Power of I Am.
Yeah, because it's like, there's loads of I Ams, and anything that you put after it, that is what you have and that's what you become. And I'm telling you, like, you keep on telling yourself these things, right? You keep on telling yourself these things. You know what I mean? And as my guy Tunde Ajayi keeps saying, dream it, believe it, become it. But you actually do become it. You become it. You become what you think, what you feel. Another guy who I would say Chris Eubank Sr., he was that guy. He just believed that. I remember, like, Charlie Magri was a former WBC flyweight champion, right? And I think it was like 84, 85, he became world champion. And Charlie Magri said, like, he was working with Chris Eubank then. And he said, I'll tell you a story about bloody Chris Eubank, right?
Yes, Rog? Go on, mate. All right, mate. Oh, yeah, Paul's got it. It's fine, keep it, Paul.
That's all right. I thought that's Charlie Magri. I thought that's Charlie Magri.
Imagine.
Go and
He's
ask
the
him.
nicest man in East London.
Yeah, go and ask him if he remembers Charlie.
Rog, do you remember Charlie Magri?
Yeah, I remember Charlie.
See? Told you.
Come in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Have a seat. We've got to talk about Charlie. Go on.
Who's Charlie?
You just go to his pub, didn't you? Yeah. No. Charlie was my old trainer.
Charlie used to go smoke.
Yeah. Charlie Magri was. I'm good. He's proper.
He had
He's proper.
Victoria, didn't he?
Yep.
He had the sports shop as well.
Your
Yeah.
memory's good, Rog.
Yeah.
Right, isn't it, mate?
He had it in Bethnal Green.
No, it's all right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the thingies.
The
All the
pub.
taxi drivers stop.
But he's our woman.
Yeah.
Every black taxi driver goes past, stops, says he's the nicest man in East London. Everyone talks to him, brings him presents.
Live there all your life. Everybody, didn't you?
It's not bad, is it?
As
Have you seen Charlie?
Yeah, well, I ain't seen him in a little while. Last time I seen him was about 4 years ago. But I got a lot of time for Charlie, man.
No, Charlie's a nice boy, yeah.
I got a lot of time for him.
He's all right.
All right, see you in a bit, Rog. Top
All
man,
right, mate, you take care. God bless, sir.
All the
Cheers,
best.
Rog.
Best, yeah?
See you, mate.
Don't get your bike.
I won't, Rog. Thanks, mate.
Don't blame me if you ain't here in the morning.
That's hilarious. It's just covered in and.
I know we're going there. What are you working on at the moment? Is Metavision is your main thing? Or are you doing any
I was
other?
going to ask that. Like, what's your?
My main thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Metavisionaries. And I just started a production company.
No way.
Yeah, I just
For
started. We're making films. You know what? The reason being is this. There's a young man who I used to mentor while I was at Sky, Isaac Narty. And he won, last year, he won a BAFTA for, Life and Rhymes? That program on Channel 4.
Right.
So it was his dream. And like, I used to see this guy. So every week I'd go and give motivational speeches to the young kids who'd come in at Sky. Every week I'd go into Sky Academy. So I'd go down there while I was working at Sky. I'd go in there. Wasn't prompted to do it. I just wanted to speak to young kids. So I'd go in there and so Isaac be like writing down my bars and that. Really good poet. Really, really fantastic poet.
Okay.
So then he came in, he was like, for ages he was saying like, let's put a production company together and like spent, like when he told me like, we've been nominated for a BAFTA. So it's him, who else is in it? Who else was in it? Man, I've forgotten the rest.
What are you going to be making? What are you going to make?
We're making movies.
Films.
Making films, making sitcoms, documentaries, all the rest of it. So he come and said, Spence, because I'm just mad. I'm just a mad networker. Like, you guys
We'll have to link up at that because
1
obviously,
million %.
Mate, you should be doing, in my opinion, I hope you don't mind me saying this, like I could take this, like from everything you said, like it's so inspirational what you say. I feel like you should be doing nothing but organising the biggest boxing matches in AJ's corner, or whoever the biggest British boxer is at the time, being a huge motivational, a Tony Robbins type on stages and with people there, with young men listening to exactly what you're saying, and then getting funds to do charities to bring back youth centres.
Well, that's a lot to do right now. I'm feeling the energy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am feeling that 1,000,000%. But I don't know. I kind of lost my.
Sorry,
anyway,
mate,
so Isaac
Isaac
Nati. So he goes, yeah. So he's made this. He said, yeah, we started the company. So he set up the company last month.
Wow.
And it's because of my network pool. So I'm getting all these young kids who are coming, who are trying to make films and all the rest of it. And I go out and I get funding and. So that's what we've just started doing. So that is going to be one of my major things that I'm doing. But because our story needs to be told, and I also know quite a few people in the film industry who have been fortunate. Boxing has been incredible for me because it gave me a massive network. It's boxing why I'm here right now, right? So it's given me a massive network. And you know when people say, oh, your network is your net worth, and you know what I mean, you got a network to get work, and blah, blah, blah. You actually do. But when you got a name, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because people actually bring stuff to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes rubbish, sometimes things can really germinate.
You don't, especially in films, you don't realize how, even when I've put films together, the easiest thing, the thing, not the easiest thing, but the thing I always go back to, I just go, right, let me just look through my phone book. Because you don't realize how many people you're connected to, how many people can help you. And even like the amount of times I've gone by one person who I thought, okay, they never invest, but they end up doing, or I haven't spoken to this person for a while, but you know, they would be really helpful or useful. It's so important, especially when making films. I've found.
Right.
You know,
Listen, like
I've
I
been
said,
doing it 10 years.
Well, you did, Matt, with that film there, bro. I salute you. That's why I come out of my house. Seriously, because I actually respect what we done. But now I met Jay, it's different. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's just different because I can feel the energy.
Thank you.
And I'm just being raw. I just roll with energy. You know when you feel it.
Yeah.
When you feel it.
It's so true.
You know it.
It's
like
so
you
true.
think like, right, nah, this guy's a kind of cool guy. Nah, he's proper cool.
We had someone on the other
That's
day,
lovely,
at Sally, we had a woman on and she just came in, she left me voice notes after, and she keeps saying the same thing, give me the guy's numbers, I feel the energy, it's good, it's great.
Right,
and it sounds like,
real.
it sounds, you know, sometimes it's to people like watching and listening, sometimes it sounds weird for men to sit around and say that, but like, fuck it.
That's the thing, we got to get over that.
You've got to get over that, yeah, exactly.
You got to get over this nonsense, mate.
Yeah.
You got to get over this.
Exactly.
You got to get over this nonsense.
It doesn't feel weird for us because we've got that side, but it seems like, yeah, you're right. You just got to get over that and just, if you feel something, say it.
Seeing what Matt did, right? I remember like, when I went for audition, but that's how we met on this first film we did called
He's seen me, you've seen me close, he's seen me close 2 films. When you go into a closing, you're involved all the finance and I produced, and he's been there with me.
So what was the other films that you closed on?
I've done 5 feature films in 5 years.
You're a gangster.
Yeah.
And you right now you do look like
2
Clark
in COVID.
Kent. He does look a little bit like Clark Kent, doesn't he?
He looks like his dad.
So I've been doing this 10, 12 years, and I just Clark. I'll take Clark Kent. And I did loads of shorts, and when I moved into features, then that's where you got to raise money. You've got to prove people that money can come back, all this kind of stuff. So James was sitting with me a couple of years ago on Duke, which he was also involved in. And I remember you can say this because you just saw me, you're like, it's so stressed out. When you're closing a film, you have a window, you have a finance window to raise the money and close it because cast availability and all this. And I'll, if there's any help you need in that, I'm a very, very good closer. That's a really good thing that I've specialized in because I just kick ass with lawyers and everything. But you've got to deal with lawyers, you've got to deal with cast, crew, you've got to deal with all these things, and you have a window to do it. If you don't do it, it all falls apart.
Do you know Capital Investment? Capital Investments, they do Capital Films, they did Paddock and Bear, they did, right.
Yeah.
So the guy that owns that, Sebastian Rourke, he's my old client. Well, he's still a client, so he lives in a really fancy place, and he'll like, Spence, he's a French guy, like, come and give him some training, and it's more like he just picks your brains on everything. And I was telling him, look, bro, you need to make a film on Marcus Garvey. Now, I don't know if you know who Marcus Garvey is. Marcus Garvey was a Pan-Africanist in the 20s, 30s, and 40s in America. He's actually Jamaican.
Why have I heard of this?
He's like all the Rastafarians quote this man. It was like he's Jamaica's national hero, Marcus Garvey. He was an incredible human being. from him, he spawned a lot of things got spawned off of the back of him.
Right.
You got the Back to Africa movement, which in America was him. You got the Nation of Islam, they were spawned from him. The Black Panthers, they were spawned from him. The revolution that was led by Nelson Mandela in the early stages, it was from the philosophies of Marcus Garvey and his teachings. Marcus Garvey is massive. And I was saying to this guy, listen, Sebastian, and like, I know I ain't talking his business, but I think his company made something like 17 million from Paddington Bear too. And I'm like, what? 17 million? Right? He was like, yeah. And like we were talking. I said, you gotta make a film about Marcus Garvey. And he was just winning one there. He went out there, what do you know? Right? And they're making a movie now on Marcus Garvey.
Who's they?
Some American company. Right. But they're getting a guy from the guy who played M'Baku in Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. That's what I think I'm sure I've heard of this.
Yeah, you don't talk. Him.
Yeah.
They got him
right
to. Oh, I will feed you to my. Him, that guy. They got him to play him. And I was, and like as soon as you saw that in print, he was like, "Why does his name ring a bell to me?" They sent me, "You know this guy Marcus Garvey?" I said, "Yeah," because I constantly quote him. He's got incredible quotes. Like I know about 200 of his quotes.
Okay.
Right? So, and I was like, you gotta make this movie. And when you see that it's being made, I said, listen, any ideas that you get, again, Spencer, you just come to me first.
Right.
Right? And I was saying, oh, okay, cool. No problemo. But yeah, he's a really, really good guy. Really, really on the money guy. And you know what? The nicest thing is this is like I was saying earlier, like money is a great revealer. All it does is bring out who you are. Because I know when he was broke or supposedly broke because he was already wealthy, you know where I'm coming with this, that he was good people, come from good stock. It's like his mom and dad were kind of hippies in France and stuff, and he grew up like that. But really, really good guy, really beautiful human being, and a good guy to the fact like there's a couple of people. Like when my mom chipped out, there's certain people who were like properly there, like really there, like. You got that the traveler Alfie Best. He's worth lots and lots of coin. Yeah? Alfie Best will be for me every single day.
Yeah.
Alfie Best said to me, Spence, when's your mom's funeral? I'm gonna be there. I'm like, boy, Alfie, you know what I mean? He goes, yeah, I got caught in the morning, but I'm coming to the funeral. He came to my mom's funeral.
Lovely.
Right? Now I've known this guy because of Les Brown, the motivational speaker. Because of Les Brown, I hosted Les Brown. And while I hosted Les Brown, Alfie Best was there. And so I've got to bring out...
networks and
exactly. So I had to bring out Alfie Best. So I'm there. And he came up to me afterwards. He goes, you know what, Spence? When you introduced me, you made me feel 10 feet tall. He goes, take my number. And because he told the story like he came out of nothing.
Not nothing.
Exactly. Right. That's his story. I said, that's your story? All right, cool. Right. And he built his empire. And... I don't know, on paper he's worth 700 mil, right? But I know it's more than that. Because you don't want to take the tax, man. You know what I mean? And you're a traveller, so I know what you're like, right? But anyway, and he's just a cool guy. Always Spence come around the ass, because he's a big boxing fan, come around the ass, he just picks your brains, and like, maybe it's because he wants to give out tips for people who want to gamble on fights and all the rest of it, but yeah. And so he come to Mom's funeral. This guy, Sebastian Rourke, was going to LA on a plane. Spence, I can't make the funeral, right? Just before he's jumping on the plane, he's walking through the corridor and I get a phone call. I'm like, right. He goes, yep, I know it's and he's with his partner as well. And he's like, yep, and he's just talking through it and everything else. And it's little things like that. John Fury, Tyson Fury's dad, every day he's phoning me.
I love John.
Right? Every day he's phoning. How you doing, Spencer? Don't worry. Every day phoning me. And it's like, it's those kind of things. And you got your real pals, like, you know, in partnering crimes and that, or partnering legality, like Tunde and all the rest of the people that be phoning you constantly. But
we spoke when I did the Tyson Fury thing. I spoke about
exactly.
John Fury too, and he's like a lovely guy.
Exactly. Yeah. But this brother here, Matt, I didn't know him from Adams. But he was like constantly sending messages. Those little things. It's like, yo, just little, I'm not seeing it like, oh, it's this little freaking pest, man. Right? But these things, they count because they help you. And I had so many people who helped me along that way because that was my mum that chipped out, and I was actually suffering from anxiety. And like usually someone like, especially like you think like alpha male, you know, I'm the guy, innit? No, you're not. I was broken. My mum chipped out, and it's been 2 months now. I was broken. So all of the little, when people were sending in messages, like, I mean, loads of guys from the comedy circuit, like who are really doing great stuff. Just the messages, just the, you know what I mean? Like Lennox Lewis would like constantly like, are you all right? And it's just those little things. And I'm like, and just for me to be real and say, no, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real with you. I'm not. I'm finding it difficult to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm waking up I'm shaking. I'm, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what's going on right now. But it's just those little things where you can go talk to people. And it's like, on those things, like, just to be grateful, to show appreciation. And there's too many names. When I mean too many names are cool, but I mean, like, it's amazing how many people would check in on you. And it's real, like death is real.
That's an amazing network because they're genuinely caring for you to make that call.
Yeah,
it's not just
They are, but when I'm like, but at the funeral, I couldn't believe it. Like Tony was saying, like I was like this when I was I could not believe the amount of people that came to my mother's funeral. Like people from the boxing community, people from entertainment, people from other sports. Like I was really, really shocked.
They're there for you, Spence. That's the thing. Like, you know, you
know what I mean? Like Steve Bunce come out, Spencer Oliver, you know what I mean? My old nemesis, Dave Walker, he came. When I saw those kind of things, it made me just realize, like, you got to continually be a good person.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because when people are saying, oh, well, he's lost his mum, and right. But it's more that, like, well, yeah. But it was just so many people that came out and, like, showed love. But this brother here, different gravy. So, you know, like, when you have conversations and you think, yeah, nah, he's a smarmy little bastard, really and truly, right? But it's just real. And because of that, I'm appreciative of the realness. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Because, like, what you said, oh, if you get us on your podcast, and no problem. Yeah, cool. Here's the link. My producer will sort it out for you, Bob. And he came on, he spoke about the show, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's Jim Belch. All right, cool. Yeah. When I watched the movie, I just enjoyed the movie. So I keep on watching it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm like.
Yeah, you said you watch it 4 times.
Yeah, I watched it maybe 3.5. I ain't finished it this time. Yeah, maybe about 3.5. But it's just there because I just can't. But not only that, because you know what it is like when I'm a very vicarious person. You know what I mean? If you tell me you got £10 million, I know you now. That £10 million is actually mine. I'm sharing in that wealth. You may not give me 1 penny from it, but because you got it, I know you. I'm attached to that energy. That energy means that I'm part of that riches. This certain people, but unfortunately, people don't think to be vicarious. They think like, oh, why am I living through him? I'm a failure. But no, but if you're in touching, if you're, it's tangible. Then if you're just like this, you can go to someone and say, right, then I don't want it. I want you to show me how you did it. A lot of people are frightened to ask. You know what I mean? I say this little thing, like I've done this thing, like and loads of people posted it out in the boxing community, and I think it done like 1 million views on Twitter, right? And it was like, if you don't step forward, you're always going to be in the same place. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. Never. Never ever.
That's very true.
You'll never have
very
it.
wise words.
Right? So when you're around anything, everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Right? Everyone. Some people tap to their purpose. Some people tap to their purpose from when they was about 5 years old. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has a purpose. Your purpose was not just to get up, go work a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Worry about paying bills. Pay your bills. You just done it. Or got to get a bigger house. Oh, I've got to keep up to the Joneses. No. Your purpose, your purpose is to be the best you. Because there's no such thing as a life better than your own. Because no one can't have your life. Can't. But what you can do, we can interact with other good energies and we can make this whole thing better. And when we're making the things better, then we are doing our real thing, what we've been born to do. And our real thing is to actually spread love. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That is it. Sounds crazy, but it is. All you got to do, spread love.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is so fucking true.
Because I always say that too, don't I? About just walking in
Yeah.
and smiling to people and breaking
Yeah.
breaking the mold of someone in the day. We do it all the time in like coffee shop and just little simple things. Like I'll go into a coffee shop and I'll immediately sense if like, someone's doing this and that, and I'll just like. Sometimes it's something stupid. I'll say, "Hey, I'll do something stupid," but then the person will laugh just to kind of light their day up. And it's just in that there's a spread of
I
love.
remember when you came to Bali and I'd been on my own for like a month and he was just chatting to everybody.
Bali's beautiful, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Oh,
and the other night I was walking around London and I said to my cousin, I said, look, I'm going to say hello. I'm going to make every person smile. Just walk past them, and because you can walk past like this, but I go, hiya, and everybody smiles back, right?
Yeah.
So I said,
nah, Bali, seriously, the people are so nice there.
They are.
They are so nice.
Where
Where do you stay when you're there?
Canggu,
Okay.
Batu Balong,
No, what's the other place? Where was it?
Seminyak,
Nah, Jim Brera,
Batu Balong, Jim Brera. I haven't been there, but I know what you mean. I think.
badass place, right?
But on that thing you're saying, like, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it's like losing my mum. But the fact that you had all those people come for you, and the fact that you've got this community, because when I look, I got some, I've been lucky enough, not through, as I've got a bit older, meeting amazing people, successful, wealthy, whatever. And I get from them personality traits. No one's ever given me anything apart from you. No one's ever given me a thing, but some of them are just such good people, and I get their personality traits from them, which is what you're saying. And I couldn't agree more about his work ethic. And that's why I just said, look, anything you ever want to do, Matt, I'm in. Like, I wasn't involved in the Duke, I acted in it. And then after that, I said, look, because of how highly I think of you, and it's like, I remember a therapist I was seeing once said, James, you've got no community.
Jim Baran.
Jim Baran, it's amazing there, right?
Bro, sorry I've still got you on there. I'm just saying, because I had to go on my phone and flick through, go through the pictures, find out. Yeah.
I lived there for a year. It's amazing.
Bro, let me tell you this. The people in Bali.
Yeah.
The people light you up every day. Remember the two
Have you been to Mexico yet?
Yeah.
What parts?
Cancun. Yeah, I've been in Cancun. I've been Tijuana.
Okay.
I've been.
Remember the two women that was looking after us in Bali? It's unbelievable. They cooked, they did everything. And she was just every day smiling, light. And I kept asking, what have you been doing today? Oh, me and my mum were praying this morning and we did this. And it was like 7 a.m. and they were coming to us and cooking us breakfast. And
Indonesians are the most lovely people. Yeah.
They were just, the people were incredible. And so much light.
For my missus, it's me and my missus there. And yeah.
Oh, in Bali?
Yeah, in Bali.
When were you there?
Where are you?
Yeah, you're a funny guy.
You said you.
Yeah, me and my missus.
Taking the picture.
Oh, you took the picture. I thought you said you and I was in the picture.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong picture. I don't show you that shit. There you go. That was me and her. Sorry.
When were you there, Spence?
Huh?
When were you there? In Bali?
2019.
Right. Oh, no, we weren't there. Were we there?
It's just a wicked place, man.
2020, yeah.
But at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Early 2020.
Oh, mate, it's been an amazing conversation, mate. I feel, thank you so much for your time, man. I just want to know what's next for Spencer.
I know we're going to link up and do something. Swear down.
Yeah, I can feel it as well, yeah.
Yeah, I know, 1,000,000%. I know, because there's too much to go around. You know what I mean? There's too much to go around. You know what I mean? And I know, I just know how this thing goes. You know what I mean? I know because I can feel it. And, what is it? Marcus Garvey said, like, God and nature first made us who we are, then out of our own creative genius, we make ourselves who we want to be. Follow that great law, put God in the skies as our limit, and eternity our measurement. So eternity means forever. Forever means perpetuity. Perpetuity never, ever ends. Never ends. You know what I mean? So constantly just keep on giving out good energy. You know what I mean? Because it's that's the trick. You know what I mean? To keep us divided, to keep us, nah. You know what I mean? If we can just keep up that good energy and that good flow, then it is like, then you don't, you meet people, and certain people you meet, and maybe nothing would ever flow from it. There's other people that you're going to meet, then you could get certain fruition from it. And how it goes is, this is quite simple. It's like, I truly believe, like, when you live your true purpose, you're living your best life. Because you're living your true purpose.
Yeah.
And that is it.
And you know what I think is going to be really helpful? Like some of the stuff you've said, we can basically put that into sound bites, which I think is actually going to help people. And although social media is not good, they're going to see it on social media. So using something that's bad and all the stuff you've said that's good is going to actually be a really positive thing for the world. So thank you.
Man, you've really touched me today. Honestly, it's been one of the quietest podcasts for me because I haven't said that much. I normally speak a lot, but
I know you're a bit of a chatty baby. I know.
I've just been watching him. You've been alright. You've been talking quite a bit, but I've just been in awe. Like just not even like the things he's saying, just the energy and like I said, the love. It's just love, man. It's all love.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. Seriously, I'm. Yeah. Because certain days it is hard for me. But of recent, it's like it's so getting better, and it's like being around good energy. Yeah, usually you come and say, "All right, then, boy, we're gonna do bits." Yeah. I'll be talking there. I'll be mundane and blah. It hasn't been any of those kind of things. It's been so enjoyable. I've had such a good day. And that's the truth, and I appreciate you guys. So thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you very much.
That means a lot. Yeah. Wow,
What a legend.
what an episode. That's amazing. I don't even know how to end it.
You end it.
Thanks for watching, listening, subscribing. Boardman podcast.
Listen, subscribe to the Boardman
That was amazing.
Podcast.
That's it.
Spencer Fearon, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Blessed.
You got the movement. Sod this shit. All right. My highest ever is 9. No, I can't. 9.